start up the movement? How long we gon' keep letting them do us? How long before we start up the movement? How long we gon' keep letting them do us? How long before we say fuck this piece shit and grab them clappers? How long before we lose our voices shouting Black Lives Matter? How long we gon' keep letting them disrespect our president? How long we gon' keep letting them terrorize our residents? I'm sick of this shit, it's word to Bernie Mac. How long before we police ourselves, take our own streets back? How long for Uncle Tom here and hate on this shit? How long before they take a shot at me for making this shit? How long I gotta wait for justice for Josiah Shaw? How long we gotta fake it till we can take it and whack 'em all? How long we not gonna make these youngers pull their pants up? How long we gonna keep letting them shoot us down with our hands up? How long we gonna keep killing our own and making these streets hot? How long will what I say to you stay with you when the beat stop? How long's your attention span? How long you watch the news? You ain't down to shake shit up with the rebels for the cause? I ain't talking to you.
What's going on, everybody? How y'all doing? What's up with it? How y'all feeling today? It's your boy, Mr. Provoked Thoughts, and we are in the building. How y'all feeling, man? Happy Sunday. And we up in this thing and we chilling. And of course, I'm a little late, and I apologize, but I don't give a damn because our president was late to his State of the Union, and I ain't stating shit but my opinion. So I'm glad that I'm with y'all tonight, and I'm glad that I could give y'all a little bit of what I got. So I'm glad that you guys are here, and I thank y'all for coming in. As you can see, you know what I'm saying, I got my peeps in here, man. What's going on, Mr. D Map? What's going on? Hey, what's going on, Donna? How you feeling? Real, thank y'all for coming in so early. And we're going to go ahead and get some things popping because my subject matter was, why do black people, or why are black people now coming around to being more conservative or more Republican, and why are they looking to vote for a Donald Trump at this point in history or life or circumstance and all that stuff, man? Because it is kind of tripped out to know that, you know, we've been staunch Democrats, man, our whole lives. And, you know, we ain't really deviated from that. But one thing that I know about us is that we have always known, you know what I'm saying, how to talk our shit. And when we talk our shit, and we respect anybody, they can talk their shit when they talk their shit. And I promise you, man, this dude can talk his shit when it's time to talk his shit.
Well, we have some of the dumbest leaders in the world. We have losers. They're losers. They're just losers. We have very stupid people. We have stupid leadership. How stupid are our leaders? How stupid are these politicians to allow this to happen? How stupid are they? Hillary Clinton was the single worst Secretary of State in the history of this country. The world collapsed around us while she was Secretary of State.
I have just one word for Mr. Trump. Basta. Enough.
Well, I think Jeb is a nice person. He's very low energy. I'm not used to that kind of a person.
So he's doing this to inflame and to incite and to draw attention, which seems to be his organizing principle of his campaign.
And then I see Rick Perry the other day, and he's so, you know, he's doing very poorly in the polls. He put glasses on so people will think he's smart. And it just doesn't work. You know, people can see through the glasses.
Donald Trump does not have the character, nor does he have the temperament to be the commander-in-chief.
You have this guy, Lindsey Graham, a total lightweight. Here's a guy in the private sector. He couldn't get a job, believe me. Couldn't get a job. He couldn't do what you people did. You're all retired as hell and rich, okay? He wouldn't be rich. He'd be poor.
He's becoming a jackass. at a time when we need to have a serious debate about the future of the party and the country.
And I see this vicious tweet, because I've been nice to Scott Walker. I said, oh, finally I can attack. Finally.
You know, for a lot of us, it's like.
So let me tell y'all something real quick, man. When it comes down to it, this is the type of guy that you need. Somebody that ain't going to sit here and let nobody, and I mean nobody, talk shit about him without him getting back. I mean, you got to think about it. Barack Obama insulted this man viciously at banquet meetings. He done on whenever he got a chance, Jimmy Fallon or wherever he was, he saw fit to insult this dude, which is the reason why he probably ran for president in the first place, man. I mean, you can't sit up here and just talk crap about a person and expect for them to just sit there and take that shit. That is absolutely ridiculous, man. I mean, so let's try to keep it moving. I think we got a few more seconds. Let's see.
Watching a car accident instead of focusing on the direction we should be headed, that's a sideshow out there.
But Mr. Trump, you're not a nice person. That's true. But actually, I am.
Let me show you how we do stuff.
Actually, that's pretty cool, man. That's like a little snippet of that. You know, so I kind of want to get into a couple of things here this evening as to why people think that black people are crazy for voting for Trump, and you get, you know, coons like Charles Barkley running around here talking about punching people in the face if you see him with a Trump shirt on, you know, all of this craziness that's popping off just because we choose to rock our vote. It's not like it's a black against white ticket at this point. It's not like we sitting up here looking at Jesse Jackson versus Donald Trump or who else. Other than that, I don't see anybody worth a damn. I mean, we need to step our game up, black people, if we want to have somebody. Because after Obama, he was like a unicorn and shit for black folks, and now he's gone. He's not doing a damn thing. Or maybe he running the presidency from behind the scenes and shit, hiding and, you know, feeding this old dude lines. Because truth be told, you already know that State of the Union address was nothing of his penmanship or anything that he said down and wrote down at all, man. You know what a talking point is versus an actual point. You know, they go off of talking points. My predecessor this, my predecessor that. He didn't do this, he didn't do that. I got inflation up to 1% behind, well, you know, $1 billion or whatever the hell he was saying. Because I didn't understand what that mushmouth bastard was talking about. I really don't. So, you know, and it's actually really, really amazing to me because I look at a lot of different content and I just try to see, you know, just where we at, man, like in our thought process when it comes to this political thing. And it's hard because, you know, they say don't talk about, you know, religion and church. It's crazy because we kind of hammed up because we can't really talk about the things that need to be talked about. Go ahead and drop a link out here. I think I already did. Let's see. You know what? It's so crazy, man. You have people that parrot, you know, just pretty much rhetoric in the regards of, you know, 4 more years. But why? Why should we do 4 more years of struggle, 4 more years of lies, and 4 more years of you can't get over the ex-president? You got to keep on talking about it because the thing about it is that Donald Trump ain't left people's lips for 4 years. 4 years. He, for 3 years or whatever, but for a whole presidency that's supposed to belong to somebody else, nobody could talk about the good that Joe Biden did or, his policies and how great they were because they were too busy talking about Trump. Because, of course, man, when you got the good thing and the good thing is gone, you miss that good thing. You really do. From the bottom of your heart. From the bottom of your heart, you miss that good thing. And we as Americans, we truly miss that good thing. You know what I'm saying? So, we got people out here that's done set up here and did their little thing and feel like that they got the one up on the man and in their home state of New York, and they can now go and do speeches and be proud of everything that they have done. Just to do speeches for the FDNY, Miss Letitia James. And you are really, really not liked by the people that you said you were doing this for. You were doing this for the people in New York and America because they should not be defrauded and yada, yada, blah, 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 blah. And look at you out here with your goofy looking ass getting straight up handled by the fire department. The fire department knocking fire to that ass.
Everyone sitting here today. Altogether, you will ensure the FDNY remains the greatest fire department in the world. Congratulations, keep up your spectacular work, and thank you once again for all you do for the FDNY. As always, God bless the FDNY and God bless the United States of America. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chief. I'd like to introduce our next speaker, Attorney General Letitia James.
Oh, that's nasty. Y'all hear all that booing out there in that crowd? Ooh. Boo. Go back where you came from. Boo.
Oh, come on. We're in a house of God.
She said, she said, oh, come on, we in the house of God. Boo.
First, simmer down.
Boo.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for getting it out of your system. First, I want to recognize Reverend A.R. Bernard in his absence. I want to recognize Monsignor Jamie. I want to recognize my pastor, Reverend Anthony L. Trufant of Emmanuel Baptist Church. I want to congratulate all of the individuals who are being promoted today. I want to thank them for all that they are doing. I want to thank them for going into danger when others run out. I want to thank all of the fire marshals who are being promoted today. I want to thank you. You have worked with me as a member of the City Council, investigating a number of fires in central Brooklyn, and I thank you. I want to thank all of the members of EMS, particularly during these challenging times as you deal with individuals who are struggling with mental illness. And I have seen you all throughout the city.
Hey, I'm just waiting for them to hit her with that Trump today.
Of New York in resolving a lot of those issues. And so I thank you for all of that. And I thank all of the members and I congratulate the family members.
So if y'all don't know who this is, it's that raggedy lady that set up here and in charge Trump in New York with like defrauding like the banks when the banks wasn't even complaining, and the banks made money and he made money, and she campaigned basically on I'm going to get Trump, and I promise you I'm going to get him. I'm going to get him. And she got him for $400 some odd $1 million when it's all said and done, you know, pretty much. And then, and of course, he's gonna have to drop, I think, half of that, maybe even to appeal that, where he had just already dropped 96 million in order to appeal E. Jean Carroll. They trying to break this man financially, I promise you. But I want to hear these Trump chants.
Who are here today to witness the promotion of their loved ones. And it also is an honor and a privilege to be here today as we swear in Reverend Pam Holmes Saxton as chaplain of the FDNY. I want to thank Commissioner Kavanaugh and for that recognition. And
hey, Trump. Look at her face.
Today we are making.
Hey, look, but for real, they actually put out a memo about this on a serious tip, talking about that they was gonna hunt down all of the firemen out there that was chanting for Trump and booing this lady, man. And that's crazy, because that's like communist. That's like not even your freedom of speech in order to be able to, you know, speak to your government and speak to people, you know, about how they are doing things in your country. They trying to stop all of that, man. They trying to stop the Constitution, man. So you got to be careful and aware and watch this, because this is something that they really trying to do to these people who stated their opinion about what she just did to the former president. And that's a fact.
Swearing in our first African-American woman chaplain of FDNY.
And it looked like she built like a sack of laundry. I'm just saying.
As someone who has known Reverend Holmes Saxton for years, I'm proud to be here with her. You see, Pam Holmes Saxton is a member of my church, Emmanuel Baptist Church, and I'm proud to be with her. But I know that she is not alone. I see countless number of members of Emmanuel Baptist Church who are here. Thank you for being here, and also members who are uniformed chiefs and captains and EMS lieutenants and fire protection inspectors and those within the civilian ranks. Because today we are witnessing the shattering of a glass ceiling, the setting of a milestone, a chipping away.
You know what? I ain't even really paying attention to the shit she talking about, so we can go ahead and get rid of this heifer. You know, she was raggedy in the first place because, like I said, she pretty much banked her whole life on Trump and what she could do to try to make his life a living hell. And I just really don't appreciate nobody that's on no shit like that. So we can move right along and we can learn from my man Donald Trump.
You've been asking yourself how to get a job at a top tech firm like
we're gonna learn from him. And the reason why he's such a successful
It's political
politician.
bullshit. Do you understand?
Politics aside, Donald Trump's ability to hold the attention of an audience and indeed a nation is undeniable.
It's true. It's true.
It's a quality that anyone who has done public speaking, be it to a stadium or a boardroom, would be envious of.
Thank you. Thank you.
We talked to experts to learn 7 of the rhetorical tactics Trump uses that make it so hard to take your eyes and ears off of him.
The usual so-called experts. If you notice, that's my notes for the speech. We got to go freeform.
The single most important thing about Donald Trump, from which a lot of other things follow, is most of the time he speaks spontaneously.
I like it better without the teleprompter. I don't want a teleprompter. I don't want, right? Maybe when you run for president, you shouldn't be allowed to use a teleprompter because you find out what you're getting.
Even when someone has prepared a speech for him, he very often breaks into spontaneous digressions. So his speeches are very much like the ordinary discourse that the rest of us engage in all the time.
I refuse to say it was a scam tonight, all right? This way they can't report that I said it.
Paralipses is a way of saying the thing that you say you're not going to say. So colloquially, it's I'm not saying, I'm just saying.
I will not say he's low energy. I will not say. I won't tell you what he did because he actually grabbed one by the shirt, but I won't say that. I won't say that they all said he's our favorite, but they did. He's our favorite.
It allows him to say the thing while he's denying that he would say it so that he can't be held accountable. It also creates this intimacy, you know, the crowd and Trump are connected because he's told you what he really thinks.
America first. Remember that. America first. America first. America first.
And what's crazy as hell, he been saying that shit for years while the Democrats been putting our asses last. He was saying that shit all the way in 2016, 2015, America first, when we've been getting put last by these bastards. Pay attention, man. It's real. It's real. It's really real. I promise you. It's so real. Make sure if you're coming in for the first time that you hit the like button, share, and subscribe to the channel. This is Provoked Thoughts.
He hardly ever uses filled pauses. There's almost no ums and uhs, and the lack of filled pauses does project a sense of confidence.
Which means the man know how to talk. No uhs, ums, pauses, I don't know what I'm saying. Oh my God. No, none of that. That man know how to talk to people. He know how to interject himself without having to interrupt himself to think with and all that crazy shit. No need for all of that.
On the other hand, he repeats himself a lot.
Make America great again. We're going to make America great again. Look at this tremendous sea of love. I call it a sea of love. I call it extreme vetting. I call it extreme vetting.
These two things are related. He's able to stall for time without having a lot of dead air. There's lots of repetitions, which is almost liturgical. So, you know, it works.
They like it live. Some night I'd like to have it not so live so we could really talk, folks.
He absolutely takes advantage of ambiguity. It allows everybody in the audience to fill in the blank for him.
How do you make them pay for the wall, as you said?
So easy. Will a politician be able to do it? Absolutely not. We know what we have to do and we'll do it. So don't worry about it. Don't worry about me. And I'm going to do the right thing, whatever it is.
Trump allows you to fill in the blank through that ambiguity. You help him to persuade you that he agrees with you.
Wait a minute, hold on. Did I just see that?
Which is the to persuade you that he agrees with you, that he's already got the right answer, which is the answer that you know to be the right answer.
I missed some.
Through
Hold
that
on.
ambiguity, you help him to persuade you that he agrees with you.
I'm gonna see what this man actually.
And I'm going to do the right thing, whatever it is.
Trump allows you to fill in.
you catch people in some interesting situations. I promise you can see this. Steve Harvey over here hanging out with Trump. You see it? You see it? You see it? It's crazy. Okay, Steve Harvey. Steve. Okay, we're going to figure out what your opinion is on Donald Trump, sir. Yeah. Caught you. Snip, got you. Screenshot it.
In the blank. Through that ambiguity, you help him to persuade you that he agrees with you, that he's already got the right answer, which is the answer that you know to be the right answer.
You know, you're not allowed to use hairspray anymore because it affects the ozone. You know that, right? Hairspray's not like it used to be. It used to be real good.
When he talks about politics, you get the impression that it's a well-rehearsed peeve.
People are fed up. They're fed up with incompetence. They're fed up with stupid leaders. They're fed up with stupid people. Our airports are like third world countries. Our schools are a disaster.
See, the thing about this ain't lying about none of this, man, but they don't want to change. They don't want this. They don't want us to do what we do. And they don't want him to do what he do.
Our roads are collapsing all over the country. We are a mess. By the way, I don't like this mic. No, this mic is terrible.
Everybody likes to complain. Donald Trump complains about lots and lots of things, and some of the things he complains about are going to strike a chord with almost everybody.
Wouldn't you love to see one of these NFL owners when somebody disrespects our flag, to say, get that son of a bitch off the field right now, out. He's fired. He's fired.
Rhetorical theory would say that the way that you create identification with people is through pointing to an enemy and polarizing.
Now, of course, I don't like everything he had to say about everything. I mean, you know, I thought the Kaepernick taking his knee meant something, but I mean, to each his own. I can't agree with everything that everybody got to say, but still, you know, the bad does not outweigh the good with me and this dude. I promise you.
People.
I think Islam hates us. Countless Americans are killed by illegal immigrants because our government won't do its job. We can't continue to allow China to rape our country, and that's what they're doing.
He needs to create someone that we're against in order to motivate those people to act, right, which is to support him.
I always hear about the elite. You know, the elite, they're elite. I think, you know what? I think we're the elites. They're not the elites.
He's always talking about his beautiful people, his followers who are never going to desert him. Those are appeals to the crowd. The wisdom of the crowd knows more than these elite, corrupt, establishment politicians or the media.
There's an unbelievable love in these rooms, all the same. I love you too. I love you. Stand up. Who said?
He often does engage the audience as though they were in conversation with him.
What do you like better? Made in the USA or made in America? Which is better? Person of the year or man of the year? Okay, wait. Let's do a pledge. Everybody here, who likes me in this room?
Ad populum appeals are something he routinely does to make himself be popular, seem popular. But also to reaffirm the loyalty of his followers.
Do you make the same commitment that you will absolutely accept the result of this election?
I will tell you at the time. I'll keep you in suspense.
How is it that Trump has been able...
How many black people done said that shit? They say, yeah, man, I'll let you know.
To keep us all on edge, keep us all interested. And my best answer for that is that he is the modern day P.T. Barnum.
We need P.T. Barnum a little bit because we have to build up the image of our country.
If you know anything about P.T. Barnum, he was a master at attracting attention. And he did that by making audiences curious. Think about how many times he's given us a cliffhanger. What's he going to do next?
What storm, Mr. President?
We'll find out. Something's going to happen. We'll find out. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. Stay tuned.
We can't turn away because he has got us so curious to find out what happens next.
I'm talking about the most polarizing individual on planet Earth. I mean, you cannot deny it. I mean, you have to recognize the real. You really do. You really have to recognize the real because this is actually the most polarizing individual on the planet right now. And it just makes no sense that, you know, we have to go through all of this lawfare, all this political foolishness in order to try to get to, you know, an understanding about what we're really dealing with. When you have a nation that is so divided and has been so divided, and the division started way before there was a Donald Trump, and he didn't divide the country. Trust me, before Barack Obama took office, this country was a mess under George W. Bush, and Barack Obama was only something to keep the black people from uprising and riding out this thing with everything that we've had going on. White people too. Everybody. They felt like they had been getting slighted by this system. But here we are now. We have an opportunity, actually. A real opportunity to change the game. to not be like a less than individual, to actually put a vote forth with confidence and say, I want this person unequivocally over this person who's literally not there. Joe Biden's not there. I promise you he's not. Anything you see from him, hyper active, man, they done put him on some things. That man can't travel all of these cities and all of these states over all of this short amount of time and be cool. And that's a fact. We're in a heck of a place in history, man. I never thought, like, in the 80s that we would be here. I never did. I never did. To where we would have a sitting president as senile as anything that can't remember any damn thing. And then we have the competition of that particular president under indictment because the other side is afraid that they can't win without that. Because they can't win without it. They can't win with it. That's the crazy thing about it. It's amazing to me. And every time I turn around, I see corruption everywhere in this system. In this crazy system. And the problem is that he was talking about changing that from the very beginning. From the very beginning of him running, he's been saying the same thing. The border is out of control. We need to close the border. They scourge the earth, come here and unvetted and just walk in, and they're committing murders and they're doing this and they're doing that. He's been saying this from the beginning. It's not anything new. I'm talking about, if you want to go now, he's been saying that shit for the past 9 years. And we've had him as a president, somebody else as a president who opened up the borders. And the reason why is because of the fact that they know who Joe Biden is. Who helped you, Joe Biden? So they know who to vote for to keep their family members coming over here. Because they know good and fucking well that Trump ain't finna do the shit. They know Biden is. Or whoever the hell else Kamala Harris is, or Gavin Newsom is, or should any of those bleeding heart liberal people over there on the other side will. They'll leave the border wide open for any, they'll leave your door open for any squirrel, raccoon, possum, stray dog, stray cat, mouse, rat, anything to come in. They don't care. Because it's not affecting them in their suburban home. It's not affecting them and their children in their private school. Period. There is no effect. Black people want the same thing that white people want, man. We want safe neighborhoods. We want to have job opportunities. We want to be able to go to the store. I mean, shit, these people come and can load their groceries up with food and shit. Anything they want, they get it for free off top just because they escaped wherever they was and was able to trudge through some water and get their ass here. And they got free shit. I'm talking about can load a buggy up while you got one of those hand carts, but they got a buggy loaded up. Getting money, man. Our tax money, we work hard for, man. The stuff that we hold dear. We work hard for our money, man. We don't need to be giving our money away to somebody who might end up wanting to fucking blow our asses up later. The hell? Don't make no sense. And you got a president right now that this is the biggest concern on America's mind, on any American's mind, the border, the foreigners, the illegals, to the point where the president who is pushing for this BS called them illegals in his address, and then they got mad when you call them illegals because they ain't got no damn business here. They are illegals. They need to be dispersed. Go wherever the hell it is you think that you need to go, but not here. Not sucking up our resources and sucking up our money, taking our jobs, making it, and even still, shit, I feel like, hell, you need them here to pick the strawberry shit. Even they shouldn't be here to pick shit. We should be able to have a choice. Without them taking that and the jobs in the warehouses and the factories and everything. We dealing with some rough stuff, man. It's a struggle out here, man. Chicken is $20 a pack, chicken wings. Way over $20. What the hell world we living in when chicken? A pack of chicken costs as much as steak? You gotta be kidding me, man. What's going on, Mr. D-Mal?
What's going on, Unc? I would say you finally got the stream back.
Oh my goodness. You said something get what?
Finally got the stream back.
What you mean?
I was saying like it went down for a minute.
Oh, what talking about this one?
Yeah.
I didn't know. I didn't see nothing happen.
Well, I mean, I was just about to hop on with you then for it got suspended. I'm like, what the hell?
I don't know. It shouldn't have been.
So you
figure it out already? They be trying to, man. They be trying. I don't know
what else is new.
I don't know, bro. But you see, I be trying to step my stuff up every week. Every time I show up, I try to give something different.
I feel as
you can see, my presentation's changing a bit.
Oh, I noticed that. It looked nice.
The visual effects are getting different, man. I'm working trying to present a different product to my people.
So you've been working, man.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, I had to take a couple days off after that. After the life got sucked out of me with that State of the Union address.
Oh man, good Lord have mercy.
I mean,
I went for your stream yesterday, man. It was like, yeah.
You know what happened? And I promise you, no lie. I sat up here and it was like maybe I was supposed to do one at 9, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I would say about 8:30. I'm like, nah, man, I ain't feeling it right now. I mean, I still feel like I'm drained.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm gonna be able to give it all I got. So I'm messing around, and I just went and got on the couch. And I'm like, man, I'm just gonna sit here and
what about it? Me and News was sitting here talking in chat.
And I didn't want to do that to y'all because I'm notorious for falling asleep on y'all ass.
Oh yeah.
And I'm still trying to get over that.
Oh man. Trust me, me
and I'm doing better.
I'm like, some reason I ain't missed this stream.
I ain't fell asleep on y'all in a minute, and I ain't want to do that shit to y'all last night. So instead of me doing that, I just figured I'd go ahead and make it make sense and just kind of stay in the game, keep my head.
I got you. Hey, it's no problem, man. Shoot,
re-energize so I can bring good content. And all day I've been working on my own, because you can get live backgrounds and you can get shit that, I'm like I can create my own little like, share, subscribe shit and put it in the background, let people see that pop up.
Mm-hmm.
Remind you all the while. And I changed my my splash mark again, just to kind of make it make it cleaner, and it matches what you're seeing right there.
Oh yeah, it look nice. It look nice.
Just trying to crispify the situation, man. Make it crispy.
Oh, sure.
I hope y'all like it.
I do.
I hope y'all like it. It's a lot of work, man. Hey, not too bad for an old guy.
Hey, man. Anything possible, you wouldn't put some time into it.
Oh shit, man! Come on, man. I'm hyper intelligent. Shit, I know good damn well I can make this shit work. Like I said, we are over here, and what we do is we debunk lies. We make sure that you know the truth, and we make sure that we give the right perspective. Now, of course, tonight's topic is why. Oh, why? Because white folks on MSNBC and they want to know what the hell is going on, and why are black people, man? Why are we going on the side of Donald Trump? What the fuck is that shit about, man?
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck is that about? Why in 2020 did I cast my vote and went home and ate good, slept good? I don't know what has happened if anything happened, if I had somebody come over that night and anything else happened that was good, but I was good. Had a great day. Vote for Trump. Big facts.
Sure, and like your boy Biden doing anything.
Yeah, man. I'm just waiting to see him just jackball the campaign trail. I mean, it's going to happen. I mean, he gonna say something. If the law averages ain't no way. Ain't no way. I'm just waiting on the moment so I can give me a nice YouTube clip and I can run it over and over in the community chat. Look at this here. Look at this here. Look at this old man here. For real. But yeah, man, like I said, it's daylight savings, man. It was light outside till 8. I'm like, here we go again. The grills are about to be fired up again. Yes.
Speaking of grill, shoot, I need to go get my food, to be honest.
Oh, okay. What you got coming?
Actually got me some Swedish meatballs. Guys got to throw it in the microwave.
Oh, you got some Stofers or some.
Oh, some nice homemade food.
Oh, they homemade?
Oh, homemade, man. Homemade.
Oh, homemade. Okay, that's what's up. I mean, you gotta have some. I would hope so.
Oh, trust me. I can't never go wrong with homemade food, man.
Oh no,
eating out is good and all, but it depends on where you go, especially nowadays.
Fair enough. That makes sense.
Every time food be half done, and you be like, man, I could basically make this myself. If that's the case.
Absolutely. Yeah, like I said, I want to get into this, so I don't even know. I never really asked you your affiliation. We've been doing all this talking, all this podcasting, all this blogging. You done heard me talk this shit. I know you was frustrated with Biden, just as I was.
Oh, that freaking Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy.
You were just frustrated as I was. You stayed. I appreciate you for staying with me because that was tough.
I couldn't leave you alone, man. I couldn't leave my own stuff for this alone, man.
Man, because I got triggered a couple of times, man. He got me a couple of times. I'm like, man, he finna play.
It was so bad to the point I was here playing the game, man. That's how bad it was. I'm like, I'm gonna listen to it. I'm on the game, bro.
He's gonna blame this guy. So I'm just happy that things aren't. People can't just sit here and say, okay, well, he did just this miraculous job, even though they'll lie. They'll lie and say, oh my God, he did a great speech ever. Nancy Pelosi said it was the greatest speech ever. It was like he was fiery. I was like, he was an angry, cantankerous old man yelling at everybody.
Oh, do tell.
That's what I saw. He was yelling at everybody.
Oh man, I'm sitting here in disbelief, just shaking my head like this is sad, man. So
now that I can sit here and breathe again, because like I said, I needed a couple of days. I was like, man, I don't even know what to talk about. I'm flabbergasted.
Trust me, I need therapy after that. I'm looking like, yeah, lucky me.
I'm like, do I talk about Kale, or what do I talk about? What is happening? I'm like, because like I said, I had to flip my content because I got Kale supporters, I got my Trump people. You know what I'm saying? But I think that most Kale supporters might be Trump people.
Shoot, I ain't gonna lie, I might be one. I might become one at this point. Honestly, I never had no affiliation, to be honest with you. I never did.
You know what? And I'm not saying, I'm for the right, man, and I'm for what I see. I can see shit from Shinola, bro. And that's the problem that people are really, really having is they can't recognize shit from Shinola. Have you ever heard that shit before?
Actually, I haven't. That's new to me.
That's old school shit, man.
Oh yeah, trust me. I know some old school things. That's one of them things I done never heard before. You're gonna teach me.
You remember we went down that
rabbit hole with government cheese?
With government cheese, and we went down the Lucille Bogan rabbit hole.
Oh man.
Come on, man. Like, you know how I get down.
Trust me, I know.
So you in for a fucking treat when I get to talk about some shit, and then you challenge me to do some research. I do research on the fucking spot, so it is what it is. All right, so we gonna go. We finna go there because people always said. All right, so. Let's see. Now, this particular term was in a movie at one point. One of my favorite movies, one of the best comedies of all times, which was The Jerk. Are you familiar with that movie?
Nope, I never heard of it.
Okay, so it was one of Steve Martin's first films, okay? Well, Saturday Night Live, Steve Martin, Steve Martin was the clown anyway.
Oh, okay.
All right. Unless you don't know who Steve Martin is.
I don't even know who Steve Martin is. That's how bad it is. I'm like, Steve Martin. I was like,
shit, bro. Oh my God.
Yeah, trust me, man. Shoot, I'm born in the 90s. I said, I was 80s. It's way back.
Okay, so let's go ahead and give it a shot, see if we can get you to understand the difference between shit and Shinola. Hold on, damn, how the hell they come back up there? Damn. Just back it up a little bit.
Now that you're going out into the world, there's something you should know. You see that? Yeah. That's shit. And this, Shinola.
Shit. Shinola.
Son, you're gonna be all right.
See this is shit.
Okay, all right. So since we you got no difference. You got no difference between in this life. You got to know the difference between shit and Shinola, bro.
I got you.
It's very, very important.
Okay.
So we're gonna take a little bit further than our research.
In my humble opinion, which haunts our enterprise, and I say this realizing I'm setting the fox among the chickens, the great evil that has been allowed to flourish in the absence of mathematical understanding is relativism. And what is relativism? It's the idea that there is no distinction between shit and Shinola. That all ideas are somehow operating on equal footing. So one person is a chaos theorist, another is a follower of the revelations of this or that new age guru.
You feel me, bro?
Gotcha.
You feel me?
Oh,
You
trust me, I
feel
got
me?
you.
Okay, let's keep going. You feel me?
Someone
Oh,
else
trust me, I
is
feel you now.
channeling information from the Pleiades, and we have been taught that political correctness demands that we treat all these things with equal weight. Because we have no mathematical ability, no logical ability, we don't know how to ask the questions that expose some positions as preposterous, trivial, insulting to the intelligence, and unworthy of repetition. So
Pretty much called
we
BS.
all are very comfortable bashing science and flailing away at that, but that isn't our enemy. Science is capable of undertaking its own reformation and critique and has been engaged in that fairly vigorously for some time. The enemy that will really subvert.
Hey, Noobs, where you at, man? I don't see you in my panel. I got a problem with that. All right, but anyway, whenever you're ready, bro, come on.
The enterprise of building a world based on clarity is the belief that we cannot point out the pernicious forms of idiocy that flourish in our own.
You see how deep this shit got?
Yeah, I see.
My goodness.
Community.
Hell,
And
like, oh,
this problem is
what are you talking
growing worse all the time. I mean, just pick up a copy of Magical Blend or Shaman's Drum, and you will discover an appeal to the level of intellect that makes what's going on with television advertising look like a meeting of the Princeton Institute of Advanced Study. We have tolerated too many loose heads in our community. We are not willing to take on the karma involved in argument and discourse that actually gores somebody's ox, so that at the end of the day, iridology or Mormonism or some other form of institutionally supported foolishness lies in shreds on the floor. We consider this politically incorrect.
Oh, wow.
I can feel the tension in this room because people sense I might gore their particular ox. If we had learned mathematical logic or reason or rules of evidence,
honestly.
when someone approaches us excited to inform us that the ruins of Lemuria have been spotted in the deep sea off Big Sur or something like that, we would be able to respond to that with the contempt it deserves. I had a conversation about this recently with someone who, if I had to describe their job category, I would describe them as mafiosa. And I said, what do you think of the abduction phenomenon? And without hesitation, this person said, there are just so many foolish people in the world. And to me, all of these things are intelligence tests. And the people who pass the intelligence test are not worrying about pro bono proctologists from other star systems.
You know what doesn't?
Don't they have anything better to do?
I know, right? Hey, News,
Pretty much
what's going on, man?
common sense.
Hey, how's everybody doing?
Oh my God! Hey, man, but there's a hell of a difference if you've noticed between shit and Shinola.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
I
you
never heard
stumbled
that
onto
term
one of
till
my
now.
favorite movies too.
Oh, you talking about The Jerk?
Oh yeah.
Tell me, I never heard that term.
I
till
was
now.
born a poor black child.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That was like the line that made everybody laugh right at the beginning. Like, oh my God, what the heck are we watching?
Yeah, that was like the at least when I was growing up, that was like the first blackface, and he didn't even touch any brown shoe polish.
Absolutely not. Steve Martin, man, I'm telling you, people sleep.
Yep.
Don't sleep on Steve Martin. That was one of the funniest. I think he was funnier than Chevy Chase in that era.
Uh-huh. Oh yeah.
And Chevy Chase was funny.
Chevy Chase was a lot drier, you know. He was always smoother, where Steve Martin is the opposite of smooth.
Hey, you know what? Shout out Audrey the Mad Pill. That's a Midwest, Northwest Indiana, Chicago, Illinois crew. I know them. I know them because they from my area. You know what I'm saying? Real talk. So if you had a good conversation with them, you had a good conversation. Trust me. For real.
So pretty much I know the basic common sense. Pretty much.
Man, look, you got to know the difference between the two.
Yep.
There's shit and there's Shinola.
Yep.
And speaking of the shit in Shinola, you know, all the government leaks that have been running around lately, and the supposed Air Force guy that is just like the UFO whistleblower. What do y'all think of all that?
Oh man.
Pretty interesting. Matter of fact, send me a link so we can go through it because I don't have it.
I'll do that, and so I'll reserve voicing my judgment until you all get to see it.
Absolutely, you know that's what we do here. We provoke thoughts, provoke me. That's what I like, man. So do you like the new digs? You see, I'm always dressing up over and over again.
Yeah, I figured you guys had the storms the other night that cut me off. What, 3 nights ago?
No, I'll tell you what. What happened is that I was absolutely. I don't know what happened. I just feel like that state of the old shriveled up onion address.
Yeah. It was a comedy show.
It was literally draining. It took something from me. It took a bit out of me, man.
But you know what though? This is the same kind of thing that I've been bitching about for years in reference to Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer and Nadler, you know, all those guys, because it's just blatant pandering is all they do, and they lie right to your face, and they just expect you to be so stupid, and that's got to be who they're preaching to, the people who just don't look at anything.
Right. It has to be that. I mean, it can't be anything because ignorance, man, the level of ignorance that I see in all of it is just like mind-boggling. It's literally flooring. I can't even get around it. I'm like, how in the world could you be so?
It takes me back. It takes me right back to the night of the last presidential election, when I'm sitting there and I'm watching the whole thing live, man. I've got Red Bulls spread out all over the place. I haven't missed a second of it, and the count just stops. And I was like, no way. I mean, I'm standing up in my chair, screaming at the screen there, going, nobody's gonna buy this. Nobody's gonna buy this. And they bought it.
Yeah. People like to be sold something for some reason. I don't know.
I don't know either, but I mean, you know, anybody who sat there and watched it happen and watched the count go backwards, which is supposed to be impossible, you know, it's like, man, you see this and you think there's no way that people are going to buy that this is, you know, this is real. And man, somehow, I don't know how. I don't know how they got so many people to think that election was anything but a rigged mess.
It definitely was a mess. I couldn't actually believe it. Like, they literally cheated right in the faces.
Yeah, and they're just like, deal with it, man. You know, that's it. No,
you're supposed to be a peaceful transfer of power. You're just supposed to take it.
Yeah.
You're supposed to take it.
Mm-hmm.
That's all that's supposed to happen, man.
I don't know. It's not my phrase, but somebody coined the phrase, you know, don't piss on my head and tell me it's raining. But that is exactly what they're doing.
Don't tell me it's raining. Don't tell me it's lemonade. I'm serious. Don't tell me none of that shit.
Yeah,
I know.
yeah.
Hey, I know what piss smells like. Shit, you know, it's crazy because that's what it is. People are literally like telling you one thing when it's clearly another. Like, we watched that State of the Union address, and it was like, dude, you're literally saying shit, and it's really the other way around.
Yeah.
Literally, everything that you're saying is like not true and in reverse.
And a lot of times I'll sit there, you know, and think that maybe, you know, if I stand on my head or something like that, maybe a little bit of it would make some sense. But yeah, there's just no way.
I mean, I have literally been online with you all and have been pretty damn tipsy. I don't know if you've noticed, but I still, you know, yeah, you got me still. There's no way.
Well, now that we started BSing, I forgot what I was supposed to be looking up and sending you links for. What was it?
Fucking shit. We got to get back to it. I don't know. Something.
Yeah, it'll come up.
Yeah, but like I said, I like to go to things that are off the beaten path of what we're actually talking about in order to kind of get back, because that particular subject matter with shit from Shinola is really real, because you have to be able to determine what's real from what's fake.
And that's what it was. It was aliens. I was going to send you a link for aliens.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah,
that was the Shinola, or yeah.
Oh yeah, but you got to be able to determine it. If you don't know what it is, then you hit out here, man. You got to be. And you know what's crazy? Like my grandma always said it all my life. Shit from Shinola. And the thing about it is, I believe that that's way before the jerk.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That terminology is way before.
Wait, you will find that term in jazz and blues going way back.
So this is shit, and this is Shinola.
Yeah.
You better know the difference. Don't you put that shit in your mouth?
Yeah.
For real, don't you do it. It's crazy. It's crazy, man. Don't you smear that shit nowhere near you, buddy. It's
all right,
crazy.
I'm back, Unc. I'm back.
All right.
All right, I'm gonna send you a short clip to begin with, and then we'll just you can review it and we'll take it from there.
You know, I was actually when you sent me the very first clip, I was like, okay, this is my clip guy.
I'm a wealth of useless information, just so you know that.
Oh, hey man, I respect that with everything. You know, that's what I tell people. I'm like, man, I could talk about some shit that don't mean a fucking thing for hours.
Yeah,
literally, me too.
Yeah.
That's what's crazy.
And there's a buddy of mine that likes to remind himself and me that, you know, it's not that we know everything, but we know everything else.
One of my favorite movies is Conspiracy Theory with Mel Gibson.
Oh yeah, that was a good movie. That was a good movie.
That was one of my favorite movies, man. Promise you.
That was a great movie.
And that one with Will Smith and Gene Hackman was pretty good too.
You talking about Enemy of the State?
That's the one.
Yeah. When Will Smith was slapping the shit out of people.
Oh man.
And you know, and that's how easy it is for you to get caught up too. He didn't have nothing to do with nothing. All you have to do is intersect in those circles one time. And if you're not like Donald Trump, who's got, you know, 700, 800, $1 billion or whatever, you're toast.
I'm talking about super fucking toast, cause boy, I promise you. So let's get into this shit here.
If you believe we have crashed craft, stated earlier, do we have the bodies of the pilots who piloted this craft?
As I've stated publicly already in my News Nation interview, biologics came with some of these recoveries. Yeah.
Were they, I guess, human or non-human biologics?
Non-human, and that was the assessment of people with direct knowledge on the program I talked to that are currently still on the program.
And was this documentary evidence, this video, photos, eyewitness? Like, how would that be determined?
The specific documentation I would have to talk to Uniskiff about.
Like he was like,
right? And now this guy, you can go out and look. He's got interviews with Joe Rogan. He's got interviews with Viva Fry. He's got interviews all over the place. And so, go and listen to this guy and then see what you think.
oh my fucking goodness, man.
Yeah.
I'll get back to you on that.
Exactly.
He didn't want to say
Exactly.
nothing. He didn't want to say nothing.
He
He didn't want to
Did
be.
somebody cut the commercial, please?
Pretty much. He's trying to get the hell up out of there. He's trying to get up out of there.
Damn it.
Yeah,
run,
no
run, run, motherfucker, run.
Yeah, no interest whatsoever. I'm trying to get out of
Good
here.
Lord.
Now,
Oh, my
I got to
goodness.
do this.
Now, as part of this exercise, I want you all to remember, okay, your initial reactions.
You sending me some more shit?
I'll send you some more shit,
Hey.
with that same guy, like, him and Rogan or getting interviewed or whatever. I think he even sat down one time with Neil deGrasse Tyson. But I didn't watch that interview. I just remember, in my head, I got a flash of the clip art. You know what I mean?
You know what? You know what I kind of like about what my podcast is kind of becoming. I feel like that we kind of do we exercise our brains
pretty much
with information, and then we just go straight in for the kill after the fact.
Yeah. And so, and just how they introduced this guy that's up here, his name is David Grush. He's an ex-Pentagon officer.
All right. Where the hell is he?
See, let me find you another.
Okay, you pulling a Nisimo on me, huh? He said, I got to go through 30 of these motherfuckers to find the right one. Nisimo sent me so many videos before she got to the right one the other night.
Like 3 hours later.
Make sure if you're coming in and you're new, make sure you like, make sure you share, make sure you subscribe. If you want to contribute to the channel, my Cash App is at the very bottom. If you don't, that is cool. I know we living in the Biden administration and shit is tough.
Yeah, no, we both have out here.
So you know what I'm saying, if you get $5, I don't care, you know what I'm saying? But if you ain't got it, I get it. Let's go.
Joe, we both have out here.
Don't even trip.
Got no money. To the point we gotta start selling booty.
You know what? You're giving, you're giving your best. You come on here, you make sure I know how it is. The struggle is real.
Oh yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do.
I found a good one for you. It's short too. It's like less than 9 minutes.
Absolutely. Let's go ahead and see what we got here. You always.
And this is kind of recaps a lot of the Joe Rogan stuff too. And he usually gets kind of the point anyway.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Let's go ahead and get to it.
Yeah, we turned your channel into Supercar / Dragon Ball Super.
Oh yeah.
Last
Oh no, but we still get back to what we came here for every single time.
Yeah.
Oh, trust me, it was epic. I'll say.
Trust me, we get back to where my idea is I need to, you have to stimulate thought process, especially when it comes to the things that you believe in, man. So I have no issue with,
website
with us stimulating our minds to make sure that we stay sharp. It's an exercise in nutrition to deal with all of the shit that we deal with anyways.
Yep.
We
like you said, I don't know. Oh, The Rising. Oh my goodness, this is one of my favorites. Let's go. They're good.
team up we've all been waiting for, including me, even though I'm more of a skeptic than many of the people watching at home. UAP whistleblower David Grush sat down with Joe Rogan for 3 hours to talk about his experience testifying on Capitol Hill. And of course, Rogan asked some of the questions we've all been wanting to ask ourselves.
So when it comes to these, I'm going to bring it back to these actual entities.
Yeah.
Do we know, or would you have an understanding of how many of them we're talking about and the variety of them?
Well, yeah, there is a variety, and we have a certain number of different things. But the total numbers of what's interacting with us on Earth, I mean, nobody knows that. And I mean,
but there's an understanding of some that they do believe are interacting with us, and there's a variety in terms of there's variables.
Yeah, I talked to people who are familiar with the biological analysis and everything. So we have some idea, not a complete picture, because it's you're looking at it, it's well, I don't even understand the physiology at all. It's what the heck? It's way different, right? So we have at least
a description of this physiology.
Yeah, no, I was in the room when gotta be careful. I don't want to. I was in Washington, D.C. with a very number of senior people that work for members of Congress. Put it that way.
Here's the rest of Grush's answer.
I brought the people who worked on that stuff to the Hill. I mean, this is why the members were so confident to put out the Schumer amendment and stuff. And I was like, please explain. And they went into all those details and stuff. And I remember, some of the professional staff members were like they were in G-Lock, right? Because I mean, a total world bubble got burst right there for a lot of people. And so we have some idea. It's not a complete picture. I mean, it's just but you're not even bringing in the right people. I think about my friend and colleague, Dr. Gary Nolan, which I started the Soul Foundation nonprofit with. I mean, he's Nobel level biologist, virologist. He's the guy that you would want on it, but he's not on it. So I think we can make a lot of progress in our understanding once again if this is more broadly studied in an open environment.
So my frustration whenever we hear from anyone involved on the UAP front is that I always want then more details. Why can't you say, because there he catches himself a couple times. He goes, well, I can't say more on this XYZ. Why can't you say more? Somebody needs to say more.
Because he's a liar, man.
Exactly. Nobody trust me. You know you ain't want to say nothing when you be on the show.
Let's just keep it all the way funky. The reason why you're lying, you don't want to expound because expounding might get you put in jail.
Get caught.
You never know.
And I didn't have to say nothing. All I had to do is show you the video.
What was the point you be on that show? You weren't gonna say anything.
Because you're a liar. That's why. Come on, man. That's not complicated.
You lied to me.
You are a CIA paid punk.
You lied to me.
No,
yes, you did.
sucks.
Yes, you did.
I mean, but it's crazy. Only people who are in tune with their common sense can immediately pick up on shit like that. What the fuck was that?
Yeah.
You gotta pick out the BS.
To the point where I literally started disengaging from the conversation.
Yeah, trust me. I'm at that point. I read
none of this shit. I started looking at my damn phone.
Trust me.
Look how many people look at the headline or they hear him talk briefly about it on NBC, whatever the hell that is, with that dude with the weird haircut and shit. They see the headline and they hear it. Oh, aliens. Government official says they're aliens. And that's it. Never listen to this guy talk, And if they did, they'd say the same thing everybody else says. This dude is full of shit.
Come on, man. I promise you.
Basically a whole bunch of nothing.
Yeah.
Not pretty much a whole bunch of nothing. This is the point.
This is a whole bunch of hey, look over here.
Basically, hey, look at me. I'm like,
it happens to be the damnedest of shames that we live in an era where I wouldn't be surprised if a bunch of motherfuckers didn't come up zombie.
Well, I mean, but remember, the last time we talked about this, but it was in slightly different terms. It was like, what is going to be the next thing?
I mean, shit, we had COVID taking motherfuckers out. So the next thing is for people to be on some Resident Evil or some Zombieland type of shit.
They better be building that alien spaceship right now.
I mean, seriously, what is next? What is absolutely next? I'm like, you are literally trying to put a former American president in jail at the height of the election when everybody in the fucking country wants him to be president, besides a few crazy motherfuckers.
Oh, speaking of that, I got something else I got to show you. Please continue while I look this up.
I mean, you say, I know you're ready to go on a rant. I mean, I am kind of ready to go on a rant because
this goes right along with your rant. You'll love it.
You sit here and you got Joe Biden, which is he was like kind of off his meds yesterday in Georgia. That was pretty fucking funny.
Oh man, that was hilarious.
But at the same time, he was still he kind of was coming down. I don't know if they kind of gave him a little boost or something, but it's just this angry dude shit. Like, man, come on, bro. Are you gonna be okay? He says, "Be right back." Go ahead, do your thing, baby. Then you say you be right back. On a Sunday night, yeah, but you married, so it ain't sinning. You winning. Go on, do your thing. That's crazy.
Try to get lucky, man. You better go get in that booty.
He said she walked by and said, "Pop, pop, pop."
Oh, you already know what time it was.
Said, "Get a bucket and a mop for this."
Sure, I'm sorry, I'll be back. I'm sorry, fellas, I'll be back. Got some business to take care of, you know what I'm saying.
Oh my goodness, man. Y'all wild on a Sunday, man.
Go ahead and bring it over here for your boy.
Y'all tripping, man. Did y'all go to church?
Try not to. I'll burst into flames if I walk into a place like that.
No, don't say that shit, man. Come on. Good Lord. Oh.
No, it's a long, sordid story that, I wouldn't want to go into online, but I was brought up right. It just didn't stick.
No one knows who you are. You're noobs. They're like, oh, that's a damn shame what happened to noobs in the church house.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'll put it this way. Just some of the things that I ran into in organized religion, they
nasty. They nasty.
Yeah,
Let's just be real. They nasty.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry to say it, but my nephew went to a church, that was like one of those non-denominational super church situations, man. And it was crazy because when he was younger, he could sing and all of that. So it took him all the way to, American Idol. He was able to get, the yellow ticket from Simon and them, all that shit.
Right.
But when he didn't make it all the way and he came back and just, it was like the truth kind of came out and they were like, it was just so many, I don't know, like gay people or whatever that had infiltrated like the choir and all that. And it was people that was trying him and trying to get with him. And it was crazy.
And I think that, since I was a kid, I think that it's gotten even worse because, I can remember as a kid, church was the place that you went to learn, what not to do. And now all of these same organizations are folding like cheap suits on their morals and values because they're worried about losing their entire congregation if they don't.
Right, them checks. Right. You're absolutely right. That's actually, because when you are a super church and you got, accept them all as your policy, accept everyone,
mm-hmm.
and then you start to reject it, or what's even worse, altering the Bible, man.
Right. Right.
Like you can. What policy has Donald Trump put forth that was against anything in the Bible or made you feel like, oh, that is like, from a common sense or Christian perspective? Abortion? Really? And what he said was he wanted to bring it back to the negotiating table so that everybody could be okay, but it shouldn't get to the point where you can go as far as when the baby actually can cry and you killing it.
Well, and not just that. The things, or at least the times that I remember, where Trump had some time to, discuss his views on this whole thing. I remember him saying that, this should be in the hands of the states and not the federal government. And I believe that's 100% true.
Government's being too big.
Yeah, we are a republic. And so if you don't like the rules and regulations in this state, you are free to pick up, load your wagon and donkeys, and move to somewhere where it's more befitting for you.
So the problem with the people is they don't know what is supposed to be on the state level and what's supposed to be handled by the federal government.
Well, our own politicians don't know that.
Because that's why you got these states trying to take Trump off of ballots, and it's not their place.
Right.
But we're telling you that it's your place to say, hey, you can go and get, an abortion if you want to live in Michigan. See you later.
Yeah, that's in my mind, that's kind of how it should be, because I know that there is not a one size fits all solution for probably anything. And so if you can't get satisfaction in the place that you are, then you should have the freedom to go to somewhere where you can.
Just look at what it is here. You in different states. Just look at age of consent.
Yeah.
Some of them 16, some of them 17,
some of them younger,
18, some of them younger. And just think about the fact that in the 1920s, the age of consent was like 10. 10. 100 years ago. 10. I'm not lying. I believe.
And you had a lot of arranged marriages that were, even younger than that.
I mean, look, we saw The Color Purple that was rooted in a bit of truth that, men would go and pick young women to marry and take care of the household at a very, very, very extremely young breeding age. And, abuse or do whatever the heck it is that they would do. But that's, these are the things that, convoluted logic of law and things that may need to be straightened out. In our own brains, because we have a dual morality of what's moral and what's not. What's good for the goose is not necessarily good for the gander.
And now even that is being turned upside down, or at least a good attempt is being made.
Absolutely. And I really do think that, what we do is try to block. And I would hope that we will reach a whole bunch of people at some point. I really do. But, I think that mainly I feel like that we're doing a great job right now with our core group of people of really debunking a lot of narratives that they're putting right in front of our face and letting them know, hey, this is not really what's happening here. You really got to pay attention because they're lying, like literally blatantly lying to everyone's face. And like I said, this is a great video because you're lying. So get out of here, dude. Why are you lying?
Stupid.
Why are you lying? That was crazy.
I sent you another video that is going to
I'm
completely.
I'm already on it.
Oh yeah,
I'm already on it, baby. You don't even worry about it.
It's gonna backfire on him.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get that together.
That one's kind of long, but
yeah. But like I said, after you said, I don't know how you do this every night.
Yeah.
Kind of struck a chord with me. I was like, well, how the hell am I doing this shit every night? Let me take a day. Figure this shit out.
You're a real one. You're a real one.
Hey man, when I come into anything, I'm always serious, man. I'm not the type of person that's gonna half-ass it, man. So
true.
I mean,
at the point doing something, you know you ain't gonna do it right. At no point.
And I'm hoping, like I said, that people are being reached, and it's helping people to make conscious decisions, especially when it comes to this, and I never thought I'd be some type of political pundit or whatever the hell you want to call this shit.
You are now a political pundit.
Oh man.
Damn.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I watch a lot of shit now, man. It's like, and I'm looking in the history, man, of what our country's always been fucked up, man.
Pretty much.
I don't know what the fuck they acting like. This is the greatest country in the world. Just because you say that shit, don't make it so. I mean, what the fuck do you mean?
Hey,
you lying.
That email address that I got from the Queen, like, I don't know, first couple of nights I was in or whatever. Does that go to you?
Is it Provoke Thoughts Alive?
Let me look and see what it is.
Nah, but I can give you that email. That's not a problem. Cause you can just feed me shit on there, and that'd be fucking fine. I mean,
oh yeah, I got stuff you probably want to look at, and the thing that made me think of it, while I'm sitting here talking to you, is one of the things that I listen to fairly often are old time radio shows, and the ones that are the best are the ones that still have the commercials, intertwined with them, and when you listen to the political BS before and after and during World War II, it is the same crap we're listening to now.
And it's crazy. One of the most people don't even realize how honest and truthful Malcolm X was.
He was real. He was real.
I mean, as far as like the media and the games that they play, he knew them. He knew them.
Well, and then, and because we've had this conversation before, we're talking about what a horrid thing the internet is, because they can spew whatever kind of garbage they want. But it used to be that only they could spew the garbage, because we all didn't have broadcasting stations sitting in our living rooms, where we could counter the argument or go listen to somebody else, and so the good information travels at the same speed of light as the bad information. So it's a double-edged sword. I mean, it was like Joe Biden couldn't just go on national TV and spew all that bullcrap without feeling the repercussions. And, in 1960, 1970, that never would have happened. Never would have happened. I wouldn't be talking to you guys.
Yeah, I mean, shit. Hey, and I'm actually glad. I mean, I love the camaraderie that social media creates in a good way when you're trying to actually do something positive.
Right. Sure. Right. I mean, if you start something and all you got is malice, to feed you, then I think people get wise to that after a while. Although I still don't know how The View is running.
Oh God,
that fucking shit show of a shit show of a shit show.
That's trash.
Yeah.
It's a shit show. This is The View. It's 4 or 5 fucking turds sitting up there. Shit show.
And you know, they get handed their own rear ends on their own show at least once a week, and they just play on like it never happened. You know,
Like it, yeah, I mean, because reality is reality, damn it, and you all don't live in it. It's like you all want this fake ass reality. Look, Trump's gonna fucking win. He won the last time, damn it.
Like it or not, he's winning.
He won the last time.
That man
I was not the only black person that changed their mind in 2020. I was not.
but you know, and it's sad for me to say, but you know, it's not all doom and gloom. And you know, the first thing that I'll say is that you know, it doesn't matter who casts the vote. It only matters who counts the vote. And then the other part of that, and we saw that clearly in 2020, I think. I mean, to me, it's pretty much indisputable. But for 2024, I think the possibility exists that the red wave is going to be more than they can compensate for.
Oh yeah.
It's going to be nasty this time,
and it's going to have to be nasty.
It's probably going to be a sweep, to be honest. I think I spent.
I almost think that Donald Trump's going to win every fucking state.
Well, but you know what? You've had people here on your own show that say, you know, hey, I don't vote. You know, I'm thinking about voting this time, but I don't vote. You've got to go out and do.
I mean, I will stand my ass. I don't give a shit how cold it is. I don't give a damn.
Yep.
I gotta put. I don't give a damn. The last time I was out there in the fucking cold, like fuck this.
And somebody better call a fucking cop if I arrive and they tell me that I already voted by mail.
Fuck this. I mean, I was literally out there freezing my balls off in the last election, and I'm like shit. And I'm contemplating because I'm still torn because I'm a staunch. Always voted Democrat guy. And the only reason why I didn't get to vote the last time is because you had some shit going on, and I didn't even vote Hillary Trump.
Yeah.
But I mean, 2016 was an excellent year for me. The Cubs won the fucking World Series.
Nice.
And Trump won that election in epic fashion because I'm telling you, fucking Hillary was towards the end zone doing a touchdown dance, and a cornerback came and popped the fucking ball out of motherfucking hand.
And the recordings of her losing her shit are priceless.
To the point where she started fainting and falling out and shit.
Oh yeah, she's screaming at the top of her lungs. Somebody better fix this, or we're all gonna hang.
Oh my God, man! I mean, Hillary, like, good. I mean, but come on, man. And what's crazy is while creating and the crime bill. Bill Clinton pandered back in the 90s to black people on Arsenio Hall show playing a fucking saxophone. And you believe this son of a bitch cared about you, and the only thing he cared about was pussy. That's the only thing he gave a fuck about was getting blowjobs in the Oval Office and shit, and going over to Epstein Island and dealing with the little teenagers. That's the only thing he gave a shit about. He didn't give a fuck.
He didn't.
It was one big fucking party for Bill Clinton.
Oh yeah, Bill Clinton didn't care and no care in the world.
Nope.
He really didn't.
Shit, cocaine and bitches.
Well,
that's what Bill Clinton was all about.
He didn't have to care because he wasn't really running the deal. The establishment is running the deal. All he had to do was what they told him, and then party on, Garth.
Ain't nothing like party.
I mean, shit. Come on. I'm trying to figure out what did they do? What did the President Bush do with that crack that he put on his first address? What happened to it? What happened to that crack? What happened to that crack?
Yeah.
Where's that crack?
Same kind of dude too.
Where that crack at that you held up in front of America to shock all the good white people in suburbia? Oh my God, is that crack?
Yeah, like the first time.
Oh shit! Oh my God, shit was crazy back in the day. It is crazy now. I thought that the Rodney King beating was crazy. I thought like O.J. Simpson was fucking insane.
Nah.
9/11 was just like, boom, mind's blown. I'm talking about a month after Aaliyah died. What the fuck's going on with the world?
Yeah.
True.
Seriously, I mean, it's been some moments in history in my life where I'm like, whoa, what the fuck? But nothing like the shit that I have seen over the past 5 fucking years. You can't tell me a fucking thing different. It's been a shit show.
I'm telling you, we need to start a pool now. Start getting money into the pool for, what is going to be the next thing. Because right now it's looking like they're steering towards
It's been a shit show. I mean, what in the fuck? I'm like, you sit here and you have a lawyer, some fucking attorney that rescinds another. This is the legal precedence I saw. These motherfuckers doing whatever the fuck they wanted to do. Okay? Bill Cosby got a promise from an attorney that he would not be prosecuted. And another prosecutor comes in and says, you know what? Fuck all that shit. We prosecuting his ass anyway, and puts this old ass man in jail based off of bullshit testimony.
Literally.
And a Me Too fucking movement that was protesting every fucking thing and screaming as loud the fuck as they fucking could.
Pretty much all
protested and
because
programmed.
Oh, because that dude wanted to buy freaking CNN, something. I forgot what channel it was. Network you're trying to buy.
See, and then you turn around, down goes Harvey Weinstein, down goes Epstein. Shit.
It's all bad.
And then they run Surviving R. Kelly.
Completing other BS.
The worst shit ever aired on fucking television. A bunch of fucking lies, one-sided, hit job on one person to set a legal precedence of, and it all jumped off political when Kim Fox stood her ass up there and begged for victims.
Yep.
That's when that turned political. When Michael Avenatti, who was vying for president, got involved, that's when that shit turned political. People need to pay attention to every fucking thing that happened.
I don't know what you're talking about. It seems legit to me.
That's when that shit turns political. When you got a Gloria Allred goofball ass running around, handing out scripts to people.
Pretty much.
She got more fucking scripts than Tyler Perry.
Man, sure.
To hand the person. They got to read their pain. If I got fucked up, look, noobs, if I got my ass beat, I can tell you exactly what the fuck happened every time without reading shit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What do you need to read something for?
Yeah.
Make it make sense.
What the fuck do I need to read a damn thing?
Stupid.
It could be what's his name from Fire Down Below, and what's that guy's name? Martial arts guy, movies. Always plays like the Italian gangster cop.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can get fucked up by him and still remember every hit. except the one where you went to sleep.
I mean, these motherfuckers want me to believe that you can remember half of your victimization.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, you don't have to look, damn it, because you'll get on the fucking stand and you'll pull the motherfucking Terrence Bradley. I can't recall.
Oh, really?
I can't recall.
Oh, really? Can't recall any of these events. Any of them. Absolutely nothing.
So basically, and it goes back to when Reagan got Alzheimer's around back in the day around the Iran Contra affair, you know, with the crack and the weapons and everything that was coming down on his ass. And I can't remember. You remember that shit?
Oh,
when Reagan couldn't remember a damn thing.
Oh Lord.
When he had to stand in front of Congress, look, come on now. They act like some of this shit is new. And truth be told, Donald Trump didn't even do shit. And Donald Trump is the least experienced of all these people. And he did a better job than most of these motherfuckers. You trying to send $300 billion of our money to fucking Ukraine.
Literally. All our money, man. Like we ain't struggling out here.
Come on, man. Like we ain't $3 trillion in debt.
So much debt. And they say, oh man, we're gonna be getting out more money. What the hell?
Like we underwater. What are you doing? If that's what you unless that's all a lie. Who are we indebted to?
I guess to them at this point.
Because I'm gonna tell you, if a motherfucker owe me $50, I'm about to go knock on his door because I ain't got no bread like that right now.
Exactly.
$50 go down the toilet. Where my $50 at, bro?
You know, they ain't want to need that money, bro. You know I need.
You feel me? That's what we get some changes worth of gas, all type of shit.
No, I don't want our money.
That's food. What are we trying to eat out here? What do you mean?
People trying to use me as ATM machine. I'm like, yeah, your boy don't got it.
Shoot, I'm here to tell you.
Especially nowadays, heck, you know.
I swear, how you in there when you print money? It makes no fucking sense.
I sent you another link too, and this is why keep that in mind. You know how you printed money doesn't make any sense because you know every time you hear the old man get up there and he says, "Hey, I'm going to give what was it, $400 incentive to everybody who wants to buy a house, young couples and that sort of thing." He ain't giving you nothing. All he's doing is printing that $400. And so he's taking that $400 a little bit at a time from everybody and, and applying it to this program. And so, and that's the same thing. It's the exact same thing with stimulus checks, and that's one of the things.
Yeah, but they came for that shit hard and fast.
Well, and every time they put out a stimulus check, to everybody, in the nation, you're not getting $1,600, man. You're not. You're not because every dollar that you now possess is worth. Divide it by 1,600 and then again by the number of people or the number of checks that were printed. And then that will tell you what that $1,600 is actually worth in real money.
Y'all keep rolling for a second. I got to go to the bathroom.
All right. But and that was one of the things that, that kind of pissed me off that Trump did because he folded to the pressure and he did stimulus checks, and I mean, I understand where he was coming from because for a lot of people, it wasn't much, but it was at least, some very quick relief. But, it ends up costing everybody, more than the $1,600 that went out, to help that person.
Yeah, you got a lot of people that basically rolled their stimulus all the way till they couldn't ride it no more.
Yeah,
and they went after them people. They came after them people. They went after them. They're like, "No, you giving that money back?"
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. You're talking about people who cheated the system and got the loans.
Who was still on it. Yeah, he was still on it. They were still on it, saying, "Oh, they don't have no job," or they just rolled it, and I couldn't get it no more.
Man,
I was only on for 2 months. I was only for literally March and I think it was March, April. Well, what May and June? I think it was May, March, April, May, pretty much. But June, basically, I went back to work.
Yeah.
I wasn't even on it that long. I was on 2 months. That's it.
Yeah.
But all the other people that stayed on it for years and everything, they went after them.
Well, and then, you got, and I don't remember the names off the top of my head, but it's somebody who's been in the news a few times in the last couple of years, who just got prosecuted. It was a state or a federal employee who took the loans, took the hardship loans to put a down payment on real estate in Florida. Meanwhile, this person was never released, from their job for COVID because they were a state employee. They kept getting paid and did the whole work from home thing and everything else. And
be nice.
I'll tell you what, I worked for a company when this was all going down. And I don't, I'm not going to say that I know, what their books and finances are or anything else, but this dude comes in one day and says, "Hey, we're one of the first companies that qualified for this hardship loan or whatever." And then out in the parking lot is a brand new Cadillac. The biggest freaking Cadillac sedan that they make in the modern world, and I'm like, hardship loans.
Hardship loans, huh?
Yeah,
you said
buddy.
you're riding a new Cadillac, though.
Oh, yeah. And the car that he got rid of was, that he replaced it with was already, an expensive beast.
It went inside the upgrade.
I'm so glad I didn't get one of those fucking PPP loans.
Oh, I want to stay as far away from that as possible.
Yeah, I ain't get involved in that either. The only I got was a stimulus check. That's it.
Yeah.
These motherfuckers out here about to go to jail over that shit.
Oh yeah, a lot of people were riding that today all the way to the end. They rode it all the way to the end.
Yep.
Look, lying. I own the chain of liquor stores. I own 5 liquor stores. I'm gonna need 100,000.
Man, they rode that stimulus all the way to the end.
That last link that I got in the PM is just kind of give you an idea. It's a short video about what a trillion looks like.
Right. See, we gotta get to this video. Conversation gets so good. We sitting up here in the video, been hanging in the queue.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Let's get to my man's here.
All right.
And then we'll go. I see the other one. I'm ready to click on that one in a minute.
All right.
What happens if Donald Trump wins in 2024? Well, Republicans already have a plan for that. It's called Project 2025. It's a far-right radical plan to purge and transform the government. Ali Velshi does an excellent job at breaking down exactly what Project 2025 is and what's at stake for democracy, our freedoms, and our rights.
But the Heritage Foundation and its comprehensive government agenda have become more conservative over the years and more extreme. This year, the Heritage Foundation published the 9th iteration of the Mandate for Leadership. It's called Project 2025, the Conservative Promise. Now, unsurprisingly, it targets LGBTQ rights, equating any talk of gender or sexuality with pornography and pedophilia. Abortion rights, emphasizing the, quote, rights of the unborn. It looks to ban critical race theory and gender ideology and so-called environmental extremism from schools nationwide. And it recommends barring discussions of terms including gender equality, reproductive health, and reproductive rights.
I'm liking what I'm hearing already.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So as many of you know,
this is my
the
boy
Democrats
right
are attempting to bankrupt Trump in multiple ways. Okay, we know that they're coming after his businesses in New York City with the effort led by woke Democrat Attorney General Letitia James. But you also have to look at what's happening with his campaign funds, okay, which Democrats are trying to rig the outcome of the 2024 election by forcing Trump to use campaign funds to defend itself from the political persecutions against him. Okay, so for example, every time one of these Democrats, these states come out here and they try to ban Trump from the ballot, Trump has to spend money in order to try to fight against it. Okay, and he's having to spend these campaign funds to fight his legal battles. And
hey, Joe, I'll take them stimulus votes. I'll take them all day, every day.
That is an effort that Democrats are engaging in order to make it harder for Trump to campaign against Joe Biden, to spend advertising dollars. And that is why I have to say, thank God for woke influencer leftists, Trump deranged leftists, like this individual right here, putting out free advertising for Trump, okay? Because that's exactly what this video is, as this person is going to tell us about Trump's agenda that he's going to enact if he becomes president of the United States. And this person accidentally really makes the best Trump campaign ad ever, okay? I mean, this is totally a backfire, right? This is not what this person thinks that it is, and it's pretty hilarious. So I want to go ahead and get into it, because if leftists continue to make ads like this, Trump doesn't really need to spend any campaign dollars with his own advertising, because leftists can just advertise for him for free. So without further ado, let's get into it.
So we can safely assume that Trump is going to be the Republican nominee for president. Here are the first 15 promises he has made if he is reelected. You may have heard of Project 2025, but this is from Agenda 47, and you can read all of these on his website. First, he promises that he will carry out the largest domestic deportation operation in history. He will also ask for the death sentence for anyone convicted of human trafficking.
Yeah, so again, right off the bat, I'm already sold. Okay, I mean, we do need a
I'm already sold.
large deportation operation. I mean, that's non-negotiable at this point. Okay, I mean, we've had over 10 million illegals coming to this country since Joe Biden was elected, and a lot of these illegals are Venezuelan gang members who are already causing chaos and destruction in this country. We have to deport these individuals. Okay, I mean, anything less than a massive deportation operation is going to be a failure. In fact, what should happen, okay, what should happen if Republicans end up getting elected, right? If we keep the House, if we win the Senate and Trump is president, Republicans, including Trump, have to be held accountable for getting it done. And anything less than that is a failure. There's no doubt in my mind that Trump is going to attempt to conduct this deportation operation. And maybe, just maybe, some Republicans will try to stand against it, the same way that some Republicans tried to stand against Trump when it came to getting the border wall done. Okay, I mean, we already expect for Democrats to be against it. But again, you had Republicans that were against the border wall back when Trump tried to initially get it done. And that's why he struggled to get it done the way it was supposed to be done, is because Republicans stood against him. If that happens, Republicans need to get the same treatment that Democrats are getting right now from their base for Joe Biden's capitulation with Israel when it comes to their self-defense operation in Gaza. Regardless of whether or not you agree with it, the right should learn something from the left in regards to how the left bullies the Democrats into getting what they want. Okay, the left has basically showed the Democrats that no, anything less than what we want on this issue, we're going to protest. Okay, we're going to make our voices heard. We're going to make your life very difficult. Okay, and we're talking about being peaceful here, right? And the left is not peaceful, but I recommend that the right be peaceful. I'm just saying we need to take a page out of the far leftist playbook when it comes to how they get Democrats to capitulate to their agenda, right? We got to do the same thing with Republicans. Republicans get in office. If we give them the House, we give them the Senate, we give Trump the presidency, and Trump tries to enact this deportation operation, and you got Republicans standing in the way, they got to get the same treatment that Democrats are getting right now.
That dirty
mow them over. We have to mow them over.
Pro-Palestinian protesters, because that's the only way you're going to get these politicians to actually do what you want. Look at what Democrats are doing right now. They came out, okay, the far leftists, and they said, hey, we're going to vote uncommitted. We're not voting for Joe Biden. We'll let Trump win, right? We'll let democracy be destroyed, right? This is what they said. We'll let that happen. We don't care about that. You can't use Trump against us to guilt trip us into voting for something that we don't agree with. Republicans got to get the same treatment. I'm so serious, because I'm sick and tired of these Republicans talking tough on the border. Okay.
That is crazy that Biden got people like, I'd rather vote for nobody. Fuck it.
Exactly.
Like, uncommitted shit.
Ridiculous.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah, ridiculous.
He got people saying, look, I'd rather vote for this cup right here than to vote for your monkey ass, boy. What is you doing, Joe Biden? Oh my goodness, I'm gonna need you to get it together.
That's the thing. He don't know what the hell he doing.
Oh, that sucks, man. It's fucked up because I mean, just giving a fiery speech ain't finna do it, man. You know, shit, that shit was fiery, but you probably pooped your pants giving that speech.
Say none of them draws were dirty, man. Come on, man.
Shit, halfway through, he was already hit.
He reminds me of the sick old man in the Lord of the Rings trilogy, you know, that they're trying to snap out of his eye open coma. You guys saw all that, right?
Yeah.
Oh man.
And the 13th Warrior, did you ever see that movie?
13th Warrior? Nah, that one I don't think I've seen.
Oh,
I've seen that one.
write that down. You'll love it. I promise.
Oh, okay.
Well, Joe, you know that's a natural fact. Joe Biden is not running this country.
No, he's a sick old man, and you know what?
It's that Jean-Pierre chick. Who else? Kamala Harris, Joe
pretty
Biden.
much everybody that he has surrounded himself with.
Yeah, because she
But,
does.
I mean-
Yeah. None of them are smart enough to run the country on their own.
No.
We're some assholes, but it's true. It's damn true. None of them are smart enough.
I mean, you can tell just by, listen to Jean-Pierre, just, puke this no answer salad,
That's when and I hate to say it, but that's when you wish that the ghost of Ike Turner would just come.
Yeah, well, that's when you want to just have a shock collar on them and zap them every time they tell a lie, and I mean light them up like a Christmas tree. Just
man, look, if they had a lie detector that would shock her ass, she'd be dead.
Yeah, she'd just be a crispy hairdo.
Like, you just need to refer to my answer.
And every time she says, "Well, I just want to be clear. I just want to choke her like Bart,"
So I say this, fuck it, since we doing it like this now, and we're next person need to run for president is Ice Cube. How about it? Shit.
Man, I love it. I would love it. I would love it.
Yay! Shit, can you imagine? Ice Cube, I can dig it.
Oh, sure, I could dig that all day, every day. Come on, man.
I can dig it. Ice Cube for president. Shit.
I love that.
The man who made Friday?
Come on now.
He can make Fridays great again.
Friday, next Friday, you name it. Oh,
Friday after next great again. Because that's payday. That's all we really want. Make my Fridays great again. One day out the week. You feel me?
Oh yeah. I would love that, man.
Friday become a national holiday.
Oh yeah.
It should be every day of the man. It should be.
Come on now. We just got paid Friday night. Where all the girls at? Let's party.
Yeah, man.
How many businesses would that crumble if we make, Friday a national paid holiday every Friday?
Oh man.
I don't know, motherfuckers would get drunker than shit.
Oh,
yeah, they
Yeah.
would.
Most definitely.
Now the liquor companies, they're
gonna get paid.
If it
They
happens,
gonna get paid.
that's
They are
who
gonna
I'm
get paid.
investing in.
Oh,
Yep,
they will
and
get
so-
paid. Trust and believe.
And so if it looks like it's going to happen, all right, I'm relying on you all to tell me that, Ice Cube is going to be the next president or whatever so that I can start putting money into liquor companies.
No.
I wonder if he still got his contract with Coors Light.
Who does?
Ice Cube.
I have no idea.
Maybe.
Because he started getting fucked with when he created the Big Three.
Yep.
And then when he tried to have that contract with America talk with Biden and Trump, and people got pissed. Why are you going to talk to Trump? Because he could be the next president. And why wouldn't I not talk to him about some shit like that?
Well, he didn't even say that. He said, I talked to them because they talk to me.
Yep.
I tried to call these other folks over here and set up an appointment, and they said, "Hey, after the election, we'll be happy to sit down with you." And Trump said, "You know, hey, I got Thursday available. Why don't you come and talk to me then?"
Mm-hmm.
That's what happened. And I remember Ice Cube going off about it because everybody was calling him names for meeting with Trump, and he's like, "Hey, I tried to meet with everybody, and this was the man that took the meeting. What do you want?"
Exactly.
Mhm. Right. I mean, and you know Trump would take that meeting.
Of course he
Regardless.
would. Anybody in their
Regardless.
right mind would take that meeting in the political spotlight like that. And so it goes back to what we were talking, because they got all these kids running his campaign and his daily life and the government, and they couldn't find their rear ends with both hands.
Both hands.
Both hands.
Did I do that twice? My crazy ass. Let me do that once for y'all. I'm sorry. Shit. Doubled up the StreamYard thing. There you go. Copied and pasted twice. Hands was like click, click. But anyhow, man, I'm telling you, it's interesting shit, man. Like, this is deep. Let's keep going.
When Democrats are in the office, and then when they get in office and they get an opportunity to actually do something about it, they don't do anything, right? Nah, we cannot accept that. We cannot accept anything less than the largest deportation operation in history happening once Trump takes office, if he has the House and the Senate. Okay, we have the means to do it. We can't accept failure. Okay, failure is not an option. We have to get it done. And I don't want to hear about how much it's going to cost, because it ain't going to cost more to deport these illegals than the amount of money we sending over to Ukraine and all these other foreign countries. So I don't want to hear nothing about it. It has to happen, right? It has to happen, okay? I'm just saying. It's up to us to hold these politicians accountable. But this is what we want. The death sentence for anyone convicted of human trafficking? Again, I don't see what's wrong with that. I don't see anything wrong with that. These first two things already have me sold.
He will close the Department of Education and return all education standards to the states to decide.
Hey, I ain't got no problems with that either.
I mean,
I have no issues with that. Okay, that's exactly what needs to happen. Now, again, I don't know. You know, in these blue states, okay, these liberal.
I mean, basically, we getting rid of big government. I mean, that's what I get from all that. Ain't that right, fellas?
What do you mean? What do you mean?
I mean, if you're trying to get the government out of the school and allowing the states to handle it, that's pretty much the way it's supposed to be.
Yes.
So you're getting rid of big, you know what I'm saying? The government gets a little bit smaller in that, in that aspect, and not hovering over everything like Big Brother.
Well, and the way that I always understood, and I don't remember at what point this actually was, but the federal's job in the whole education system is to make sure that the basics are covered. The reading, writing, arithmetic, they have their mandatory courses, and then they expect a return on that, and the return on that is the results of standardized testing, and for that return, that's where the federal money goes out to the public schools and everything else. And to me, that's the way that it should be. I don't know what happened where the federal government started crawling in and out of everybody's school system and trying to dictate every little thing. I'm not sure when that happened.
Yeah, it's interesting, but I do know that a lot of changes came about amidst COVID. The entire school curriculum changed.
Right. Yeah, a lot of craziness happened during that time. That is definitely true.
Yeah, the entire school curriculum changed into this new identity crisis curriculum.
Yeah, it'd be in closed door meetings that parents weren't involved in.
Right. Weird stuff that we shouldn't even have to talk about. Like, what in the world is going on?
Yeah, what does that have to do with school? Somebody. Yeah.
That's not education. That's deprogramming my kids when I'm trying to teach them at home. Me and my wife.
Yeah.
You know,
And we happen to be a family that doesn't keep, smut and porn in our house, and so we don't expect them to have access to these things when they go to school.
I promise. Really.
I don't even understand that conversation anymore. It's been beaten to death.
Right, absolutely, to death. And it makes no earthly sense as to why. Let's see what else this lady got to say.
States like California, some of these kids, it's over for them, right? It's completely over for them. They don't have a chance, okay? Because they're gonna push the woke agenda down their throats and make sure the kids are dumb as possible, right? But in red states where Republicans and conservatives can control the education, hey, at the very least, we won't have the federal government threatening to withhold funds if we don't go along with the woke agenda, which is what the Biden administration is attempting to do, right? They're attempting to withhold federal funds from schools that don't want to go along with his woke agenda, right? So we can't have that, right? Our kids can't read, they can't write, they can't do math. Our SAT scores, our math scores, our reading scores are mediocre on the world stage. Our kids are falling behind, and we can't have that. If we're going to make America great again, we got to make our kids great again. We got to make the people great again. And the way to do that, it starts with education. Okay, so again, we have to have some changes. We need more school choice. We need more privatization. We need more homeschooling. Okay, in the blue states, hey, if their kids fall behind, let them fall behind. But in the red states and the conservative states, hey, we have to make sure our kids are the most educated and talented kids in this country, okay? Because that's how we're going to move this country forward with the conservative agenda in the long term. So, yeah, absolutely we need to do that. We need to return the education standards to the states. Let the red states actually hold our kids to higher standards if they choose to, without being forced to indoctrinate our kids and to push the woke agenda down.
Right, that government curriculum where everybody knows everything, like the news and the media and all that bullshit is just feeding the same narrative to everybody.
And can change with the wind.
Nope. But yes, we need for shit to be the way that it was, basically. Fuck this. Like, what in the hell is this agenda-based school for kids? And, we got to teach them about gay people and, homosexual people, if you want to be politically correct or whatever the heck. Besides math, damn it. Any gym shit. What the hell?
And that's
physical
right.
Education.
And I'll tell you, and this is going back to what I was talking about earlier, with organized religion. I also don't want these children, being indoctrinated, with the Bible thumper mentality either. And so neither one of those is acceptable to either extreme.
I feel like there's an open opportunity for a child to grow, into their own person.
Right. But what I'm saying is that, these things, like I wouldn't want, the Book of Mormon to be taught in a school any more than I want critical race theory. Now, if you want to talk about the history of either one of those things, I totally understand that, because now we're talking just flat out history without opinion. This is what happened. This is the date,
Mm-hmm.
There's a fine line, and I think a lot of people are becoming increasingly incapable of making the distinction.
But then again, there's people that's actually surprising me in the ability to make the distinction as well.
Well, and those are the people that we listen to, huh? That they can come out and say something flat in without a whole bunch of I don't know, Kamala-isms to try to talk around something. If they can just make a sentence and state a point of fact and or opinion, then they're easy to understand.
Crazy in hell. Yeah, let's see what else we got here. Some nuggets in here.
Their throats. And if blue states, they want their kids to fall behind, whatever. I'm tired of trying to save them, right? We can't save some of these people, okay? Some of them just gonna have to fall behind, okay? But the whole country can't fall behind blue states. So it is what it is.
He will put prayer back into school, and he will criminalize any race-based advantage programs. He will end the Affordable Care Act. He will ban gender-affirming care for adults and children, and he will ban any federal dollars from going towards gender-affirming care, which means anyone with government-provided health care will no longer be able to access gender-affirming care except for Viagra and Cialis. Those.
Hey, that's lit.
Yeah.
That's lit. That sound lit to me.
Right.
That sound real good to me. Again, this person is selling me. Again, I'm telling you, Trump, you don't even have to spend your campaign funds like that on ads, bro. Just take this video right here. Okay, maybe pay this person a lump sum and say, hey, we're gonna use this, right? We're gonna put this on every television, right? I'm just saying that's what he probably should do.
Yeah. Why did you and I pay for all that?
Okay, because this agenda sounds lit right here. This person's really selling it.
Those will still be available. He will propose a constitutional amendment that gives a term limit to Congress.
Exactly. We definitely need that. 100% we need that. And one of the reasons why we need that is because that is one of the ways to drain the swamp, right? If you really want to drain the swamp, you have to get rid of the incentives for corruption. Okay. The reason why a lot of stuff doesn't get done in Congress, a lot of things get caught up in politics and, left versus right, is because these politicians, they're always trying to get reelected. They're always worried about raising funds, which again, they're worried about that in order to get reelected. And if we had term limits, then a lot of these politicians wouldn't have to worry about that. They could go into Congress and actually do the job the way it's supposed to be done. They're supposed to be working on behalf of the people that they represent. Okay. But again, that doesn't happen because, again, these people are just trying to get reelected. They're trying to stay in office forever. Right. So there's no incentive to actually solve problems. But if you don't have that incentive, right, then maybe, just maybe, our politicians would be problem solvers instead of, politicians, okay? Because there's a difference between a politician and a problem solver, right? Politicians don't solve problems. In fact, they make sure that we have as many problems as possible so they can raise money off of it in the campaign. Problem solver.
That boy ain't never lied about that shit. Oh, my God.
Right.
Look at Biden ass right now.
Yep. Well, and even lower. Look at these DAs that we've been screaming about.
Oh yeah.
Same thing. Campaign dollars. You saw that stuff from that woman that testified in Congress, where all this shill money is just coming in from some little old lady in Pasadena who just happens to have, $500 every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. What kind of nonsense is that?
A whole bunch of horse shit, a whole bunch of somebody fucking stealing.
Right.
Let's go ahead and muscle through this shit. We almost done.
Don't care about that because at the end of the day, they're there to solve problems. So we need term limits. 100% we need term limits. Okay. Now again, it's gonna be hard to get them on board with it, but hey, it is something that we definitely need to push. We need at least to have legislation. We need to at least have
a fucking conversation.
We need to at least have legislation put on the floor for the politicians to vote on, so everybody can see who's for term limits and who's not, at the very least. Okay, that's what Kevin McCarthy was supposed to do, but he didn't do it, which is why he's not in the speaker position anymore. Okay.
He will deploy the Department of Justice to investigate the Biden crime family and any of his adversaries or political rivals. He will immediately pardon all of the January 6thers, and he will create a task force to investigate anyone who arrested, charged, or imprisoned a January 6er. He will increase the penalties for underage criminal offenders, strengthen immunity for police officers.
Oh, those two things definitely got to happen. Okay, especially talking about increase in penalties for teenagers and underage offenders, because we have a young scholar problem, right? We have some young scholars that are out of control. Okay, these astronauts have lost their minds. Okay, they're agents of chaos. I mean, these young scholars. I mean, some of them are straight killers. Okay, so some of these young scholars can't be redeemed. Okay, and the ones that can't be redeemed, you got to lock them up and throw away the key. It is what it is. People may say, oh, it's controversial. Oh, blah, blah. I don't care, bro. We're not cleaning up these cities. We're not cleaning up this country when it comes to crime until we get the criminals off the street. Okay, and we have to restore law and order in this country. Again, this has become a country of lawlessness, right? So before we actually do anything, we really have to restore law and order. That's the first thing that we need to do. So, 100%, that has to happen. And if Joe Biden was smart, he'd be trying to come up with another crime bill, right? If Crime Bill Joe was in office, he'd probably have a better approval rating. Okay, I'm so serious. I'm so serious right now.
And deploy the National Guard to patrol woke cities. On day one, he will reassess our participation in NATO and says that every European country needs to pay the United States for protection.
Facts. That has to happen, bruh. It has to happen because, again, NATO is supposed to be a defense alliance, okay? AKA the United States military will protect you, okay, under these conditions. One of the conditions that you have to pay, okay? You can't just use our military for free. You can't just not pay and think that we're going to show up and try to defend you if a nuclear nation like Russia invades. No. That's not how it works. You got to pay, right? You need to pay your fair share. Again, it's crazy. Democrats want everybody to pay their fair share except the children of Democrat politicians like Joe Biden, right? So Hunter Biden don't have to pay, okay? And NATO nations, they don't have to pay their fair share, right? But everybody else got to pay their fair share. Again, it's amazing how that works.
He will also restore the wonderful travel ban for Muslims coming to America. He will build freedom cities. This is 10 new cities built on federal land. He will award them to areas with the best development proposals, and he will prioritize moving young families to these freedom cities. He will kill all e-vehicles.
Who is this lady?
She is actually, she's a lefty, of course, but she is actually reading like right off of his website. And to her, in whatever world she lives in or whatever, all of these things are the devil, which she never does anything to explain, why these things are bad. But the way she's just spouting them off, yeah, I'm with him.
I mean,
Sounds like a sales pitch.
it seems like she's trying to hit everybody with this aha moment.
Yeah, and it's a failure.
And it's like this is an abject.
Yeah. Hey, down in the chat, Audra says, I do not agree with that. You cannot lock up kids without giving them opportunity. And I'm not sure what that was in reference to. Did you guys catch it?
I'm not sure I caught that. Can you expound on that idea, Audra, please? Curious. Yeah, because I'm in that.
And the chat comes up kind of slow, and so I'm sure by the time she hit the return and everything, she says increasing sentencing for the youthful offenders. They are medicating these kids and sending them straight from kiddie prison to adult prison for decades. Well, I'm sure that that's happening, but I'm also sure that there are just as many places, at least right now, and I can think of San Francisco, Chicago, that sort of thing. These kids go down, rob a bank, fill their car full of Walmart stuff and everything else, get arrested, and they're out that afternoon. And that's got to stop, because you can't cut the cops and then keep putting the criminals, through the revolving door. So something in the middle has to happen.
It does create a self-perpetuating effect as well.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a criminal, and you can just hit the respawn button every time you go out and do something stupid, then the cops are going to be fighting the same guys over and over and over again. And I'm not sure what the answer is there, because, that crap that, Joe Biden pulled and, back in the 80s and that didn't work. Now you got people locked up for stupid shit.
Miss Audra, what's up?
Hey.
Talk to me later.
How y'all doing?
Good.
How you doing?
Hi, your name Noobs. What is your channel about? Is your platform? What is it kind of about? Is it political or
Me, I am just a scrub that joined the panel one night and they just haven't kicked me out yet.
So you don't have a YouTube channel? You're like me, you just come on.
I just come on, yep.
Okay, good. So regarding what I speak of is based on experience and other people's experiences. And from what I have read, certain things, right? For example, is the earth flat versus round? Of course. I mean, I've had a telescope so I can look out into outer space. You know what I'm saying? Unless my mind or eyes or whatever is playing tricks on me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But and then you have satellites, right? And then we have inductive deductive reasoning where we're listening to what people say. And President Obama did say that, okay, we're doing our last shuttle launch. He didn't say satellite launch. He said shuttle launch as of July of 2011. So then I had to think, okay, were we actually going into outer space when our spaceships look like rockets rather than the ships that you see, the spaceships that you see in movies? You know what I'm saying? The ones that can calibrate their speed that are similar to drones. Okay. So it didn't, you know what I'm saying? So I'm using my inductive deductive reasoning skill. So you have to do the same when it comes to Black America, African Americans, African American community. So if you don't actually go around the country and sit inside of a courtroom, if you don't actually read the police reports, actually sit into the trials, actually read the trial transcripts, and keep in mind too that a lot of evidence is manipulated. Even trial transcripts are manipulated. Even 911 calls are manipulated. Even video recordings are manipulated. So that's number one. So therefore, if you're African American, not only can you not get a fair trial, but you will not get a fair trial at all. And a lot of times, these people should not have even been charged. Now, let's get back to the youthful offender. Okay? So, from what he just said, they want to increase the penalty. And I assume it's because of the hoopla that people have been pushing through the internet, through social media. That, okay, these are gangs running in our neighborhoods. They're running our neighborhoods. And instead of the older gang member taking charge, they let the little guy, the kid, do the crime. So now, if we give harsher penalties for these kids, maybe they won't commit a crime. So now,
and let me interrupt you for just a second, and because I'm not somebody who thinks that that they need to increase the penalties. The biggest problem that I have with like the current administration and their mentality is they don't even want to enforce the laws that are already there. And so instead of the knee-jerk reaction that you're talking about, and I agree with you because there's a lot of that going on. To go back to the Joe Biden mentality of the 90s where 3 strikes and you're out, that's insane. But we do at least have to enforce, those things that are on the books instead of just saying, hey, you did something stupid or whatever. Don't do it again. Here's a court date that we know you're never going to show up to. You know what I'm
3
saying?
strikes and you're out is still valid.
Some places it is, but and I'm not saying that's a good thing. What I am saying, somebody's got a hot mic.
Oh, let's see. Make sure you mute yourselves here. I'll do it for you. Don't worry about it.
All right now, put my flip-flops in there.
Yep.
But what I'm saying is your stance on that, his stance on that, and he's African American, on this video is completely flawed, completely wrong. And I want to know, where is his family members? Where are the children, the youth in his family? This guy that's on this video behind that microphone, where is his family? Because he's speaking on an entire country. Now, you can go into any city around this country and you have a predominantly African American side, and you also have a predominantly Caucasian side. And now we have a mixture, more of a mixture of more Hispanics, right? Latinos, people from all over Latin America, okay? But we've always had that. It's just now African Americans are now moving into a smaller percentage, a smaller ratio of the population.
Right.
Which is fine, okay? But at the same time that they're doing this, that they've done it to us, they're going to just do it to I assume that you may be Caucasian. You sound, like you may be Caucasian. So don't think that I am racist or saying this in a racial type form. I'm just using facts. Okay.
Yeah. And I'm such a mutt. If somebody were to, to call me a racial something or other, I wouldn't know whether or not I would be offended because I really don't know.
He said, I'm Irish, Chinese, white, black.
You
with a
got
Mexican.
my mother's side is Native America, going back to as far back as she can trace, and then my father's side is he was already a European mutt before we even came over. So I wouldn't know.
I want to touch on two things. The first being the mental health crises that everyone seems to think we're in, and then the second thing is opportunity, because that's what I put in there, the word opportunity. So when it comes to the mental health crises, okay, in each prison, each jail, you have what's called the pill line.
Okay.
Okay, there are a lot of people taking medication. Why is that?
Oh, well, it is for the same things, that the same reason
No.
that I think we touch on just about every night.
Nope.
It's
What it is,
control.
the U.S. government is the largest dope dealer there is. The U.S. government is the largest drug dealer. You've seen certain movies, right? I'm sure your girlfriend you've seen that one movie where they were talking about Viagra, where he's a salesman, a pharmaceutical salesman, right? See, I study stocks. I study a lot of things, right? So there's not too much you can run on me because I already know it, whether it's from corporate America to blue collar America. Okay. So when it comes to that, now we have these drug centers on every corner, whether it's for the marijuana, and this is not even with seeds in it. So why are you even feeding this poison? What
The
it's
same
that,
reason
or
they
if it's
fed
the-
everybody COVID shots.
Exactly. And that was my other question. Why did anyone catch on to what was happening in the
Yeah.
stock market in March 2020?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you could have doubled your money within a week if you had just paid attention, right? So that's what I mean. A lot of people aren't paying attention. A lot of people don't realize that, hey, you can't blame the recession and all of that on Obama or Trump or Biden, because this happens during every single presidential term. So if you haven't been paying attention, you're not paying attention to the wave. So you don't know when to invest, first of all. So
And
you're
you've heard of-
always going to be behind the curve.
You've heard of BlackRock, right?
No. What is that?
Oh my goodness, you're going to love it. When you get a chance, just Google BlackRock and dig deep. Also go on YouTube and search there.
Okay, put it in the chat, and I'll put it because I'm not looking in the chat. But
Okay.
the other thing I wanted to touch on was back to the medication. So you have where the government is investing, and I'm using the term investing because it leads to what their end goal is. They're investing in medication for these children, and they give the mothers, the single mothers, never married, these checks. Now, these kids may not be nothing wrong with them. They're just not being parented. They're just not being loved. Their skills are not being honed. They're not being taught like a child who has a loving two-parent household. They're not being cared for. So that child could be very, very smart. They could be the next president. But they're being treated like there's something wrong with them. Like they weren't born whole. They were born some other kind of way. So they're given this medication. Now, one little disagreement in class, one little cursing out of the teacher, or one little whatever, skipping in line, having a temper tantrum, may never have even touched another student. But that can get a child locked up at the age of 8 years old, and put into a child prison. The reason I know this because I've worked at the prison and I've seen it in my own family. So when I ask you, did you go around this country? Do you know? Is this happening in your own family? He should know this. This man that's behind that microphone.
You're talking about kids being tried as adults.
Not even that. Not even that.
Wow.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. I'm getting to what's going on now in these schools and these programs and these kiddie prisons. These kids are given medication. Their DCF, Department of Children and Families, run, and it's government money, government-funded money to run these programs to medicate these kids with Ritalin and whatever else they got out there. 800 milligrams, however many milligrams they're giving them. Okay? And that's assuming if the kids even take it. Some of these kids are not even taking it, which is a good thing.
I wouldn't take it.
But even though they're not, what I'm saying is, if a child is not taking it, that's a good thing because it's not able to alter their mind. I do know kids that have taken it and now they walk around talking to themselves. They're not functioning adults. So that's one side of that.
Arius Dixon want to know what city are you talking about?
What do you mean? City.
I don't know. What city are you talking about?
Where
you're not talking about any specific.
Every single city has.
No specific city.
Yeah, every single city around the country has predominantly African American sides to it. Whether you go to Cleveland, San Diego, Chicago, Baltimore, Jacksonville, Gary, Indiana, no matter where you go. That's what I'm talking about. So that right there is number one. You have these kids that are going into these programs. Now, in a kiddie program, if you get into a fight with a child, that's a charge. If you just pull away your arm from a staff member, that is a charge. And these are felonies. These are felonies. They're not giving simple batteries, misdemeanors in these programs. They're handing down felonies. So when this child under the age of 18 goes to court, they have to be transported back to the county jail in the county that program is in, not the county that they're from, because they've been shipped across their state to a foreign place under the age of 18. So now they got a new charge in that county. Okay? Now they get transported to another program because now they got to go wait for all their court dates. So they go to another program. Okay? Now in that program, they get in trouble again. Now they get transported to the county. Now by this time, years have passed, maybe 3 years, maybe 5 years. Let's say, okay, they get out, they go home, stay out maybe a year. Now they get back, transported back into a prison. Now, mind you, they've been going through this since age 8. Now they get transported back to a program, the same cycle. County jail, another program, back to the county jail. Okay, oops, now they're 18 years old.
You know what? Now that is actually a good question that Marcella is actually asking, because things like this do, as far as demographic of whether this is happening in red or blue states, or even red or blue cities within red or blue states.
Right, exactly.
So, you know, in your perception of this, Audrey, because I just kind of want you to expound. Do you feel like that this is happening in more Democratic or Republican cities?
It's a skin color thing.
So you would say the more Democratic? Because you got to think about it. If it's a skin color thing, then you realize that most black people have been indoctrinated to vote Democrat all of their lives.
What I'm saying is Florida a Democratic or Republican? Because I live in Florida.
No, I'm just saying the cities, because at the same time that you live in Florida, you do have certain sectors and certain cities that are going to vote blue regardless.
I live in Florida, so it's all racist, no matter where you go, whether it's Tallahassee.
Right, but there are some counties in your area that will vote for a Republican all day, right?
But he just posted up there a Republican platform, right? Donald Trump's platform, right? Who
Okay.
he wants to increase the penalty for children.
Okay.
So that's Republican. So whether it's blue or red, we know who created the 3 strikes law. You're out. That was Bill Clinton. He was blue.
3 strikes was before Bill Clinton.
We know who created the mass incarceration, the conspiracy laws. That was George Bush. Why is that?
Absolutely.
So it doesn't matter whether it's blue or red. It is a color thing, and I want to know. I want us all to recognize this, because now we have a thing they call it the Willie Lynch syndrome, right? Where we have our own people that are attacking our own people because number one, they're not educated enough to see what's going on.
So before we expound on that, because that causes understanding, kind of like we went through shit in Shinola earlier, but a little bit different.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to tell you now.
Are you new? How familiar are you with the Willie Lynch syndrome?
Not very familiar. I think I've heard the term, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 times.
Okay. All right. Do you mind if I go ahead and Audrey kind of give a synopsis? Okay. So at a point during slavery, slave masters and slave owners had issues controlling their slaves. Okay. Mass revolts, all type of shit going on, production quality, hangings, beatings, killings of slaves, and all types of shit. So they ended up inquiring to a Frenchman, I believe it was, by the name of Willie Lynch, who wrote them a letter stating the ways to actually break a slave, which was akin to bucking a horse. Am I kind of on point right now, Audrey?
Yep.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right.
Nothing too.
I'm just hoping. I'm just trying to stay on. I'm just trying to stay on point. Okay. So basically, the syndrome was something that self-perpetuated to pit the smallest things in African American culture between African American people against each other. So it's almost as if there is a racism inside of the African American.
That was a big bag question, just a small one night. My mom and asked some milk my small.
Well, ain't nobody trying to hear your sidebar conversation, man. What you doing? D-Map. Boy, don't play with me. Anyway, throwing my Willie Lynch explanation off. And basically, this after presenting this information to the slave masters, they stated that if incorporated properly, it will affect the lives of Black women and Black men in the United States of America for over 300 years. And it will perpetuate itself in our behaviors and our mentality. We would have a disdain for each other that we would not ever be able to understand. But it would be the smallest things, like how pretty your hair looks, on your head versus the other one, and how light somebody is versus how dark. It's crazy. And I've seen this in my own living.
And do you feel it?
I know it exists. I mean, it's a mentality.
I want to add to that. There's a piece that we have to add to that, and it's education, the way that we're able to think critically, because it's because of that Willie lynching that people are questioning, is the earth flat versus round, but not questioning, well, what are they trying to hide from us if they want us to believe whichever way, right? It's the same thing when it comes to the R. Kelly case and the other cases we have going, no one is looking at facts. They don't know how to break it down. First off, even when they read the transcripts, they are misinterpreting because they don't have the ability to comprehend properly.
And part of that, I think, is intentional ignorance. They understand it perfectly well. They choose to ignore it, and when they speak like they don't understand it. And so there's a lot of shoe shining going on there too.
Shit, Shinola, baby.
And I want to say one in particular, Miss Infamous Sylvia, like she'll read the things for the YSL case and will completely mispronounce a word, like with completely different letters altogether, completely different. One word she said the other day wasn't even a real word. I had to look it up. I mean, come on, when you're in school, you have a dictionary in front. If you don't know something, at least have the dictionary right beside you. Okay, guys, let me look this word up in the dictionary. You know,
and you can
let
tell
me pronounce it correctly.
If she couldn't read it, you know she didn't write it.
And on top of that, though, she's reading this from the government or from his attorney. But on top of that, you can go and read the Bible scriptures perfectly. You know how to pace yourself. You know how to read ahead because you're able to take your eyes away from that what you were reading and finish the whole sentence. So I know you're reading this and reading ahead, and you're purposely changing these words. So who are you really working for? But that's a whole nother situation, a whole nother case for thought provoking. But I want to say I am so happy that you are here, Noobs. I'm so thankful that you said what you said because, you know, obviously I'm African American, right? And, you know, I have Caucasian friends, work associates, and so forth. And I think that they respect me even more so because, number one, I use the resources that I have, and I don't, you know, try to put on that veil like, oh, I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think we're supposed to be here to grow. And that was a question I had today after reading the article. Can everyone be rich? There was an article, the girl said, can I retire at 40 with $1 million? So I'm like, most people that are retired, they like to keep working. You know what I'm saying? They want to go back and do something, whether they get paid for it or not, volunteer. But that's just me. You know, I believe that everyone can be rich and be happy. I believe because, number one, you know, people are concerned, well, who's going to make this? We have to sit back and think critically. You know what I'm saying? And I think that if we're concerned about the next person, we're always going to feel like there has to be someone beneath us or there has to be someone above us. You know what I'm saying? So I believe that we should all be able to be happy and free and stop. If we could do that, we wouldn't have what we're discussing now about the penal system. You know what I'm saying?
And more than just a penal system, what we're talking about is a class system, whether we like it or not.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We need to eliminate that mindset because, like, even our people, they feel that abandoned homes, abandoned churches, abandoned warehouses is, you know, a situation that they should move away from. See, I see it as opportunity. You give me an abandoned warehouse. Okay, now I have a place where Kanye West can manufacture his own clothing line. He wouldn't need Adidas. You know what I'm saying? He should have made in 2009. If you look at the stock in Adidas, it was down. Had Kanye West asked for 25% ownership or 50% ownership or whatever, he would be worth a lot more. He would understand, okay, right before Christmas, the stocks will fall. But you know what I'm saying? Right before Christmas hits, that stock will go back up. So if you look at where he was angry with Adidas and you just look at the stocks, that's going to tell you why he was angry. But it's also going to tell you why he shut his mouth. You know what I'm saying? So as the people, some are not as educated, and I think that we need to stop being afraid to get educated, stop being afraid to read, and stop with the BS, you know, the ish and giggles or whatever they want to say. But we need to really focus on what is going on, because like what happened during 2020, we should have been ahead of the curve. Not okay, not have a penny to invest. Had we just invested in stock market, because if you look at the billionaires, a lot of them double their net worth.
Well,
Because they invest in
anytime they're printing money,
Mhm.
they're going, because it actually is just a redistribution of wealth. And so, and this goes back to what we were talking about a little bit earlier, that every time they print money with stimulus checks or, you know, this program or that program, you know, and that comes up to that next little short video that I sent Derek here a little bit. You know, they're taking your money and giving it to somebody else.
They're giving it to the rich.
No, not just the rich, but everybody else, because
Yeah,
every time they dilute that dollar.
But I say the rich because that's why I put in there about the housing, right? See, in African American, predominantly African American neighborhoods, I'm in Florida, so a lot of our houses are smaller than what you would see in Chicago as far as square footage. Some of our houses are pretty big, right? But the local government would give maybe $30,000 and that's it to tear down that house and rebuild it. If you're like low income and you own the house, you own the deed. Now, when it comes to this Rebuild Florida, they're given over $350,000. That's over $250,000 to predominantly Caucasian homeowners whose homes are worth over $500,000, all because of the storm. Did they do that during Katrina? I want to know the amount of money that was given to rebuild those homes. Even with the Rebuild Florida, I want to know the amount of money. What was the cap given to rebuild African American homes right here in Florida? With the Rebuild Florida, when I know for a fact they are giving over $250,000 to rebuild homes that are worth over $500,000.
Now, do you have any idea what the actual distributions look like?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to
I don't
tell you.
know.
They've distributed checks for over $350,000 to rebuild just one house. These are homes that they're rebuilding because of the storm that happened 2 years ago.
Okay,
Well,
I
in
understand, but
2022.
what was like the qualifying criteria? I mean, what set these aside? Was it just the dollar amount of the homes themselves?
I think you have to pull up Rebuild Florida, but if you look at the square footage, 1,900 square feet, okay, versus 1,100. Why then couldn't the 1,100 square foot home why couldn't that be advanced to 1,900 square feet? Why does it have to be, okay, I'm going to give you 350 and I'm only going to give you 30 grand? That was my whole point.
So it was based on the size of the house, and is what you're saying. So if you had an
No.
1,100 square foot
I think
house, then you
it's
gotta,
based on the contractors, because you have to think too, a lot of the money taken is going to the contractor. So who are the contractors? Who own the business that is actually doing the rebuild? You see what I'm saying? So the money is being distributed multiple ways, not just to the homeowner. The homeowner doesn't have to pay anything back.
So it's called Florida. What is it?
It's called Rebuild Florida.
Rebuild Florida. I'll
But
have to
that's
look
just
it up
one
because I don't know
program.
nothing about it.
Because you also have the down payment assistance programs. You have like Keystone Challenges in the area that I'm in, right? But each county, each area has their own down payment assistance programs, right? Why are none of these owned by African Americans?
I have no idea.
And then why are they predominantly on the Caucasian side of town, but on the predominantly African American side of town, you have Section 8 Housing Authority. And who owns these properties? Who owns the low income housing that they're building with particle board? Who owns the Section 8 rentals, where the rent is double what the community is paying with regular money?
Let me ask you this though, if and because I'm not familiar with any of these programs, but if you were going to get let's say a government grant of some kind, and you were given the option of, you know, hey, you can use this government grant, you know, anywhere in the county or even maybe the state, would you choose to use that grant money inside of a city, or would you try to get out of a city?
That's what I keep telling people. Abandoned homes, abandoned real estate is opportunity. So why would you not, you know what I'm saying? Why would you not fix up these houses? Why would you not repurpose these warehouses, these abandoned schools, these abandoned churches, these abandoned hospitals? They're thinking of closing down a hospital in Brooklyn. New York.
Okay.
You know, and that's New York will be a real estate boom because people have moved out and they've come to Florida. They've gone to Texas. They're going places because of the taxes, right? But what I learned back in 2008 is we, the people, without us, there is no housing market. And we see that when we see newly built homes, 4,000 square foot homes abandoned, whole neighborhoods abandoned. Because you need people to fill those homes regardless of the price.
Yeah. Do you live in the middle of the state, about the middle of the state?
I sure do.
Oh, yeah. I kind of figured.
Central Florida.
And
Why would you say that?
Well, I don't know if you've been on here before but I'm retired military. And I happen to be in Jacksonville, which is fairly close to MacDill Air Force Base over there. And my partner, black female, and she and I went on the town because we hadn't been in that town before, and oh my goodness, the looks and stares that we got. And
From
then
where?
from just being in town.
What
we
town?
went Jacksonville.
Oh, all right.
We were in Jacksonville, and it got to one point we went into a sportsman's store.
What year was that? Sorry, what year?
That had to be around it was right around 2008, I think.
So it was pretty abandoned or getting close to it.
Abandoned?
Like Jacksonville, the housing market, right? Even
I
downtown,
don't really know about the housing market. We flew in a really large airplane. We were there for like 48 hours, and but just the flack that we've got because she and I were just together, out in public, I thought was pretty bad. And when we heard people talking in the sportsman shop, it's like but so that's why I guess that maybe you're in the middle of the state, because I've also been to other parts of Florida, down towards Tampa and that sort of thing, and I met all kinds of people, and I didn't get the same feeling that I got when I was in Jacksonville.
What was the feeling you got?
The feeling that I got was that we shouldn't have been there together. I don't know if they thought we were
African
boyfriend.
American?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. A female. Yep. Black
oh,
female.
Wow, you got that?
Yeah. And so and get this, we're both flying crew chiefs, on a big airplane. So we've been all over the world, countries, all over the place. And I had never run into anything like that before in my life until
Florida.
Jacksonville, Florida.
But in Jacksonville, it is predominantly African American. And I believe it's the most highly populated African American town in Florida.
And what's funny about that was that, we were, like I said, we were just downtown, went to a restaurant together. And, and that's when I first started kind of feeling the vibe. I didn't know exactly what was wrong,
Now, did you get that feeling from African Americans or Caucasians?
I really don't remember. I remember the sportsman store clearly, but like the waiters in the restaurant and stuff like that. And the thing that started bugging me was that they would talk to me, but they wouldn't talk to her.
See, a lot of what they did in like Gary, Indiana, they did this. The same thing was sort of done in Jacksonville. There's racism in the United States.
Yeah.
And what they will do is carve, what Caucasians will do in certain areas is carve out a piece of the land for themselves. And they will take with that the resources, the taxes, and so forth. Like they even built like the certain way they built their road system in Jacksonville was to separate the Caucasian side from the African American side. So if you were in a nice restaurant, you are more than likely on the Caucasian side. Because I can go into the African American side of Jacksonville and, there's Caucasians walking down the streets.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no problem. But I do find that in Jacksonville, it's a lot of racism. And you have a lot of people that are in prison in Florida are from Jacksonville because of the racism.
And I think that if both of us had been white or both of us had been black, nobody would have batted an eyelash. But because we were there together, people had a problem with it.
Yeah. And that right there, I don't understand that because, like I said, even like with me doing the things that I do, I find that when it comes to, let's say, investing in real estate, right? I've been gypped by my own people, whether it's a contractor for general or electrical, whatever.
Yep, I know what
But
you mean.
I've had other, races give me money to invest. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I think it's you have to just find your group of people that are good, because at the same time, I live in Florida. And so even in jobs, we are marginalized by Hispanics. African Americans are marginalized by Hispanics. We get a lot of racism from Hispanics.
And I tend to think that you can't trust a particular group. You have to find the individuals that you trust.
That's what I'm saying. Like your groups. So you have to find people that are good, because even in those areas, sometimes you have to prove, like I go into a situation like, oh, you speak Spanish, like, you know what I'm saying? They didn't know, okay, I speak a little Spanish too, so you can't say everything to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And or like, you just have to also put forth your best foot in certain situations, because they don't know you either.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So no matter the race, the background, financial status, class, or whatever they want to put, no matter that, you know what I'm saying?
I do.
As a human being, as people, you have to find good people, because even in African American society, we experience that on the so-called R. Kelly sector. There are some people that are not good people.
Right.
And they put innocent people behind bars. They will lie, create, and all women are not right. You know what I'm saying? And when you find that in your own race, it's just that, good people have to find good people. And that's the reason that I support Donald Trump 100% now, 100%. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and he's not perfect, and we all know it.
But I don't think he's racist, because I think in his mind he sees it, okay, because of all I've mentioned, right, there's someone somewhere or people somewhere that wants money, and they see class as a way to keep it, get it and keep it.
Oh yeah,
or else
yeah.
you would not develop laws and schemes to lock people up and keep them there without an opportunity. Like what I said, I see abandoned homes and houses as opportunity. I don't believe that, okay, you should dump all of these people in Chicago because there's, see, I think ahead. If you're giving them $9,000 a piece, what are you doing that for? So they can open a business, right? Because you don't need that for rent.
And here's the problem with that, though, and the programs that are like that. And I'll try to make this story really short because I don't want to lose this thread. But in the deserts of the Middle East, the Army Corps of Engineers, they come across this group of women who every day they have to carry buckets from the village to a well that's like 15 miles away, get water, and come back. Now, the Corps of Engineers see this like, man, this is someplace that we can help. And so, of course, they do what they do. They drill a well and everything, and they set it up, and they've got fresh water right there in the village. And then, it's like, good to go. Peace, we're out. And then they come back a year later, and the well is completely destroyed. And the women are back to to going back and forth to get water every day. They repair the well, they come back in a year, same thing. And so finally they send somebody in, somebody, from a neighboring village, that can sit down and have a chit chat with these women. And they ask them, what keeps happening to the well? Come to find out, the women were disabling the well because it was the only opportunity for peace that they had during the day, is when they picked up their buckets and went to go water and were away from the village and the men and the kids.
Wow.
And so,
but too, that kind of leads me to that saying, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. But that is too because of education. If we are saying, okay, I don't need calculus, I don't need science,
right,
then you're not going to know how to build that well.
Well,
yourself.
not everybody needs calculus and science. And this goes back to a conversation that we had with Nisi a few nights ago. And I believe it was Nisi, and I likened what she was saying to Mike Rowe. Have you ever heard of Mike Rowe? Mike Rowe is a guy who has been standing on top of the desk screaming at the top of his lungs that one size education does not fit all.
No, but in our community, and I use calculus and science as a shock factor, because I can't remember nothing I learned in calculus, yet what I know from studying HVAC, I do know that mechanical engineering should have been my next step.
And that's a perfect example, because I can take a kid, any kid who maybe just, despises, sitting in a math class, and like you said, go and put them in a hands-on environment for HVAC or for woodworking or for whatever. We need to go back to teaching trades. And not just, hey, if you can't understand the basics of calculus, then you are no good in our current society. Horse pucky. Lots of people made a living way before calculus was ever developed.
So part of that, so now that I know a little bit about chemistry, calculus, biology, all of that, it's going to help you when you're dealing with these gases. It's going to help you when you're even dealing with mechanical questions. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
So that's just the basis. You know what I'm saying? But then when you go into engineering, mechanical, electrical, chemical, or whatever, right? Now you do need the calculus. Now you do need to know, okay, I can, install this gear at 1/8 of an inch from this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know I have never designed a motor. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying you need those calculations.
Well, I mean,
to make it the way
sure.
it comes out.
And every little bit helps, And so, because I mean, everything that you learn, and there's a difference between intelligence and wisdom. Intelligence are those things that you learn: the reading, the writing, the arithmetic, the gases, the engineering, all of that stuff. The wisdom comes in where you can take all of these things that you know and make one of them make sense with proof from another. If you can make those, I am. Let's see. I have to do math now. Hold on. What year is it? I'm 54.
Awesome. Wow. I thought you'd be much older. Oh my God.
Wow. Wisdom comes early. I'm 45. So.
Ooh, man. I look way better than you, Derek.
Wisdom comes early, man. Hey, look, I love my gray hair, man.
I got plenty of silver.
I'm glad I talked to you. You got to spread more knowledge, because, I want our people, even in our 40s, to go back to trade school. If you think you're too old, you're not, because I know people are going back to school to become attorneys because of what is happening in their family, right? In their 40s, right? They went to school, they started, they did some college before, but it was never directed towards becoming an attorney. So they literally started going to school in their 40s to become an attorney.
I'm one of those people. Finish your thought, but I'll tell you my backwards story.
Okay. And then I've met people that are in their 50s, even African-American women that want to go back to school for accounting, because they see, okay, here, I'm the manager in our accounting department of this warehouse, but I see how I'm looking at the resumes of the other people that have, more income than I. Yes, I make $100,000 a year, but here they went to school for accounting. So I'm 50 years old. I'm going back to school for accounting. So she's going to get her bachelor's in accounting or master's or whatever. She's never going to school for that. So there are people doing this every day. I see a lady, she's 60 years old. She's worked for this funeral home for over 30 years. And now she's going back to school so that she can own her own funeral home. She's going back to school for whatever that is that works with, the deceased.
Right.
I don't know the term, but it doesn't matter how old you are. Like I met people who have taken their retirement and started restaurants, started grocery stores. So I think as a people, if we want to, fix up our neighborhoods, so we're not moving out of our neighborhoods, we're not discouraged, right? Because when you have neighborhood blight like that, it does work on your psyche. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
So
yeah. Your environment does have a lot to do with it, no
Right.
question.
So that's why I think these shotgun homes, we're kind of playing. So as a people, we have to develop the skills to fix up these houses. We need to know electrical, plumbing, HVAC, and so forth, roofing. There should be no reason why you should have to call and pay someone something that you can't even afford, that you have to take out a
Absolutely.
loan to get in the first place. We
And-
have to get back to the barter system. So that's all I wanted to say.
And
But as a
along
people-
with that,
Mhm.
and this is where I think some of those dollars that you're talking about can be better used,
Mhm.
because one of the things that we need to get out of the way are all of the pieces of papers and permits and the crap that they
Yeah.
bury you in to do anything. Oh, you want to update the electrical panel in this house? Well, all you got to do is pay us $750 for a permit. All right. And then you got to have a licensed electrician come out and knob bullcrap. Send somebody out, somebody from the government. We're here to help you. Send somebody out to show this guy what he needs to do, how he needs to do it. All right. Hands on right there. That's how you spend your $9,000.
Absolutely. Makes a lot of sense to me.
Because
so
now
check it-
this guy knows. This goes back to the give a man a fish or teach him how to fish thing.
Yeah.
All right, so check it out, y'all. We've been on here about a good 3 hours. We're doing good, but I'm trying to cut it short because I don't want to run out of shit to say to you guys.
Oh.
This is a good one. Thank you.
Seriously, I mean, but you all kind of hold things down, and I appreciate it so much. But I gotta get up in the morning, so I want to kind of wrap things up this evening. I do appreciate it. Like I said, one of the main things that we want to kind of get across is kind of why African Americans tend to want to gear themselves towards Trump, and we've kind of gotten into that because of the fact that we actually have certain values that are geared towards a little bit more of a conservative thought process than most people think. Most African Americans aren't as wild and footloose, as fancy free as a sexy red or whatever the hell you want to look at on television anyway. So, on that note, I do appreciate both of you guys for hanging tough with me tonight. I got a few things to do in the morning, but I will probably be on tomorrow because, I kind of like to keep it coming, and you never know what the news is going to bring. If something hot drops, trust me, I'll be here.
It's going to be a Monday, so it should be fun-filled.
Oh, yeah, you got Fannie Willis and stuff still hanging out there. We waiting on decisions from that shit. So,
Now, real quick,
man,
how do you think that's going to go?
disqualified.
You think so? For what?
I mean, it's the appearance of impropriety. There can't be an appearance, and it appears bad. It's not a good look.
It's not a good look, but I think what's ultimately going to do her in is the perjury.
Yeah, the perjury on both of their parts. I mean, just the ability to applicably lie.
Yeah.
To-
Everything up to that point, the money, the trips, everything else. Now, and if Wade were on the other side of, working for the other team, and this was
It'd be
that's the
automatic.
conflict. Yeah.
It would be automatic.
Right.
But the thing about it is the kickbacks. She received kickbacks. I don't give a damn what you say. There's no man built that's gonna make a woman come out of their pocket with cash money on a trip.
I just don't think that the kickbacks would disqualify her, though.
The other thing I want to add to that is her demeanor on the stand. I didn't watch the whole thing, okay? But from what I hear, she's shuffling papers. When what the part I did see, she was perturbed. She was upset.
Oh, yeah.
And I think if you're being the DA and you're being an African American woman on the spotlight for YSL, on the spotlight for imprisoning teachers, educators, I don't care what they did. They don't get paid enough, right? If you're going after the president of the United States, a president, there's a certain way you have to carry yourself. You should be appearing like you are above your coach, whatever.
You got to be straight up.
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
you have to carry yourself in such a way, especially as a woman, in that environment. You don't treat people that way. And if this were a criminal, if she were a defendant, her attorney would probably call her incompetent to proceed to trial. She probably wouldn't go to trial because she wouldn't know how to act.
Yeah.
So
I mean, she's everything that I've seen from her thus far has been highly improper. Whether it be just the all out, this is the biggest case of your life and you can't keep your legs closed. That's improper.
Integrity.
Hiring your boyfriend, improper. Paying him more than everybody else, improper. Lying about the whole relationship when you should have, reported it to let people know that you were on the up and up, improper.
Yep. And that's, I think, what's going to get her.
Yeah, it just proves she's disingenuous and she lacks integrity and so forth. So
there's only the appearance of integrity in interviews. Right. She only appears to be, she's highly improper. That's a fact. She only appears to be proper. She's scared than shit running around here acting like she's happy because she's running for office. Yeah, you got competition now. People are running against you now.
I wonder why she invested like $50,000 of her own money for her
because
campaign.
Nobody.
But what was it? What was the importance for her to do what she's doing, going after innocent people? No one's even looking at the whole reason why the RICO was brought against Young Thug. No one.
She's the RICO queen. She's the RICO queen. They call her. They call her the RICO
the
queen.
Plant. She is a plant.
Yep.
So basically, what I deem a RICO is, from what I saw with the R. Kelly case, it's lazy prosecution.
No,
instead
it's
of it is because instead of charging a person with what they're charged, what they've done, you come up with this umbrella of things to charge them with and put their entire life on trial.
And don't have to prove any of it.
They don't have to prove any of it. So that's the RICO is lazy prosecution because you're not going to get any hardcore evidence. If we look at the R. Kelly thing, there was no hardcore evidence to prove he did anything. They just paraded woman after woman after woman after woman, threw a man in there, all type of stupid shit, and threw everybody off.
Same thing with the Nature Boy. But the question is, he was on trial for rape. That was it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it was consensual. It wasn't even an argument during the sex or anything. You know what I'm saying? Like it was.
The only thing if you're famous, man, you need to keep it wrapped and zipped anymore.
Myself personally, I think we need to invest in our neighborhoods. But if you got the money, honestly, I say all African Americans need to leave this country altogether. If you've experienced what I've experienced, if you know what I know, if you've seen what I've seen and what is going on even today.
Where do you think it's better though?
For African Americans, it would be Africa.
You think so?
Because if you go to Haiti, Haiti has to be like a satellite. You know what I'm saying? It's not big enough. You have to be somewhere where you are protected, a place that
where is that?
It's Africa.
Where in Africa?
Africa needs to be united. meaning not broken into 27 different countries. That's number one.
Right, but we don't have any control over that. I mean, if you were
Right.
going to move today,
No, but
you
there are
know,
things being done. So that's what I'm saying. Even if you're moving back, there needs to be more, and it needs to be where Caucasians have to be okay with that. You can't think, okay, these people are going to come and kill us all.
I
You know what I'm
honestly
saying? Like
think,
that
I
thought
honestly
process
think,
is what keeping us segregated, even within Africa. You know, look at the flags of Africa. You can
if you
see who
moved
is
to
in.
Africa right now,
Mhm.
you would be more of an outsider than you've ever felt in your life.
But why do you feel that way?
Well, I've been there several times, and I've also listened to feedback from other folks, African Americans, who've gone back to Africa. You know, and some of them
But do
last
they
like
have
6 months, four
any of the
months, and then they're like, "Man, I got to get out of here."
do
And
those
and
people that
that's
have gone, they have the skill? What mindset did they have? Because I see passport bros looking for wives. I mean, you know, or people going to these countries with no skills, no trade,
well,
and
and
they're not even
that's what I'm
investing
asking.
here
Where
to
where
even know where
exactly
to
where
begin.
would you go? You know, that you think you would be better off. Where in Africa would you go?
At this point, it doesn't even matter the country, but I'm saying as a collective, as a whole, whether you go to Malawi, Maui, um, sorry, Ghana, South Africa, and regardless of what's going on,
Yeah, I
Kenya,
mean,
it
yeah. At
doesn't
the
matter.
same time, that's cool and all. But you know, if we get all into the particulars of it, we realize that you know Africans sold us into slavery, man,
You gotta
and it's
really bring
deep.
that up.
It's
You
crazy.
really believe that though?
I
Yes,
believe that
it happened.
it happened.
But I'm
It
saying,
happened.
what bearings does that have on today and history?
Well,
I mean, because the thing about it is that best places don't tend to sell their people off.
But how long ago was that, and what does that have to do with today?
I
What does
mean,
that
but
have to do
it
with
has
what
everything.
happened?
It has a lot to do with
Okay,
today because the
so,
thing about it
so let's
is that you know, regardless
let's
to the
think of
fact.
let's use our inductive and deductive reason. Let's think of the first nation that freed itself from colonization. What was that? What place is that?
You say the first nation to free itself from colonization.
Yeah, the first African American nation that freed itself from colonization. Who
Well,
was that?
tell me. Go ahead.
Haiti.
Haiti. Yeah.
So did Haiti sell its people?
You said did Haiti sell its people?
Yeah, any one of its people.
yes, they did.
What
They
year?
were a major trafficking or port for slavery in Haiti
What year?
before I was born.
Okay. Was it in the 1900s?
Truth be told, let's just be honest about this. There is no country out here with dark complected people around the United States that didn't house or deliver or shelter slaves.
Okay, so let's go ahead. Let's
Facts.
entertain that. But we have to use what we know, meaning we have to use current events because you have to think of the mindset of the people. So now we talk about the Fannie Willises. Now we talk
Mhm.
about the prosecutors on these cases. Now we talk about these women on social media and these African American men that are, you know, that go with other men. We have to
Okay.
okay, we have this faction of people that are against their own people for whatever reason, for whatever experience or hurt they've experienced in their
Okay.
lives. Okay, that are selling us because that's what they're doing.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, yeah. I mean,
So
I can
that's
agree
what I'm
with
saying.
that.
When I'm looking at current events, when I'm
Okay,
asking
I
to
can
say,
agree with that.
okay, you're saying, okay, we sold ourselves in slavery. Well, there had to be a reason behind that. So
Well,
was it
yeah, it was
hatred?
tribal conflict, is what it was. And the
Yeah.
losers were the ones that got wrapped up and sold to Arabs, who were the middleman in the entire trade.
And I'm talking about for cheap. I'm talking about for liquor and
Hmm.
shit. Yeah, I mean for next to nothing.
Yeah, it's like trading. It was like, you know, trading shiny stuff with the Native Americans. You know, that kind of trading.
But Native Americans, right? Who were they really? were they indigenous or
Well,
were they Native Americans? Quote.
nobody really knows because nobody was walking on two legs when Pangea was a thing.
What was you can use your inductive and deductive reasoning skills with that. What were their architecture? What was, when you think of Native Americans, what architecture do you think of?
You're opening up a can that is much bigger than you think it is, because
Yeah.
I can show you geography in Mesa, Arizona that predates what we know as historic man. I mean, older than 3,000 years. 1.7 million tons of block that are cut straight as an arrow. So you tell me who the indigenous people were.
No, when I think of architecture, what they taught you in school.
And that does make sense. And that has happened just in this comment from
Wait, hold on. You guys are making your argument that Africans sold themselves.
Yes,
they did.
Based on what you learned in, I guess, school or through social
I mean,
media or
school
someone
or
telling
throughout history books or just even in movies that we've seen, or books that have been written like the Book of Slaves.
Yeah, and if you research it, you'll find it.
But we also have like that mockumentary Goodbye Uncle Tom or Sankofa, right? The movie Sankofa or Goodbye Uncle Tom, right? Where they actually took these diaries from previous slave owners and they wrote, they made a movie out of it. It's called Goodbye Uncle Tom. Have you ever seen that? Provoke Thoughts?
I haven't seen that yet, no.
It should be still on YouTube. It's a movie, okay? But if you knew that this was going to happen to your people, would you have sold them? And the reason I ask that is because even in Ghana, Nigeria, and all over, they actually want us to come back. They see what is going on in the news. See, you have certain areas where they are learning, right? Because you have to think about it. In these same areas, you have Christianity. You have them carrying a statue of Jesus or Mary or whoever that doesn't look like them, right? They're worshiping. So the same thing that was done, you don't reinvent the wheel if it's working. You don't, you know what I'm saying? But we as people, we have to think outside of the box, okay? So when I say use your inductive and deductive reasoning skills, look at what they did to us all around the world, whether it's Australia, whether it's Haiti. And I mentioned Haiti because it was the first, okay? So we have to realize that we have been trained to hate ourselves, no matter how small you think it might be, okay?
And I don't think you want to live in Haiti.
Well, then you have what's called government sanctions. So that's the reason you don't want me to think about.
I don't want you to live in Haiti because it's a war zone right now. And you probably would not come out of there well. And I've been to Haiti,
But why is that though? Why do you think that it's a war zone?
Because, currently it's controlled by a bunch of different factions, and I couldn't tell you what all of the factions were. Again, this is information you can readily find.
The same thing about Chicago, right?
Hey.
Okay,
So
we have to really think, and we have to understand, like how you said, you built the well. They built the well to take the water. That's knowledge. But I didn't hear that you say they open up trade schools. That they open up, you know what I'm saying?
Well, no, that wasn't even the point. The point of all of that.
They took him to the well, right? They literally took him to the well, and they drank out of the well, right?
The point was that they didn't want the well.
Women felt oppressed, right? So they still got rid of the well because, so it's the same thing that we have here with cognitive dissonance. And the same thing we have with people saying, I just want to, I see it, I know it, but I just want to pretend like I didn't see that. I want to put on these glasses, these shades, or, put this veil over my eyes.
Well, yeah, you ignore
So,
what's uncomfortable.
Regardless, right? Education is key. Education wouldn't be key if they didn't hand us the Bible as opposed to handing us real education. You can't hand a person a life prison sentence without handing them education first, because if you gave them the education first, there wouldn't be a need for a life sentence.
All right, y'all. So,
you know,
we have gone about a half hour over.
Yeah. I know. We keep dragging you down.
Okay. So,
I hope that you guys understand that number one, education is key, and that we have to spread love. If you have hate in your heart of any kind, if you have jealousy in your heart of any kind, no matter the race, okay, no matter the gender, you know, you can feel what's right and what's wrong. You know, a child even knows, because they'll start crying, you know. So you can't be an adult and say you didn't know. But at the same time, you know, even a person who has that life sentence, even they themselves can be rehabilitated, educated. So I think we need to start doing that now, and we have to stop using excuses. I want to look to a senator. I want to look to do this for me. When you have the opportunity, you have the abandoned schools, you have the abandoned warehouses.
We gotta
you
let
have
Derek
the
go
abandoned
before
homes.
he kicks us out.
So you have to educate yourself so you can go in, fix it up, and utilize it for yourself. Or else, yes, I mean, even still, you still have to go, because we don't control this.
this lady is monologuing like a super villain. Like a super villain.
Now, I hope I didn't go over it.
That's how Batman used to always get the joke of all that damn talking, girls.
You should have told me
what
ahead
I'm
of time
saying
that Candace Owens was going to be on.
No, what I'm saying is, as a people, we keep being told that, and no offense to you, noobs, but we keep being told that our people in Africa hate us. Our people in Haiti, Jamaica, wherever, hate us. We
I
have
don't
been
think
told
that's
that.
true. I don't think that's true.
But
What
it's
I
the
do
same
think
way.
is true is that if you packed your bags today and went to Africa tomorrow, you would feel like more of an outsider than you ever have in your life.
And on that note,
Really lynch light skin versus dark skin. Provoke thought, you just said it.
on that
But-
note, we're gonna roll some theme music in here.
Okay.
We're getting out of here. Okay.
All right. Good night, Derek.
I love you guys, and we will talk about this. We'll finish up tomorrow. Is that cool?
All right, cool.
All right.
How long before we start up the movement? How long we gon' keep letting them do us? How long before we start up the movement? How long we gon' keep letting them do us? How long before we say fuck this piece shit and grab them clappers? How long before we lose our voices shouting Black Lives Matter? How long we gon' keep letting them disrespect our president? How long we gon' keep letting them terrorize our residents? I'm sick of this shit. It's word to Bernie Mac. How long before we police ourselves, take our own streets back? How long for Uncle Tom here and hate on this shit? How long before they take a shot at me for making this shit? How long I gotta wait for justice for Josiah Shaw? How long we gotta fake it till we get taken and whack 'em all? How long we not gonna make these youngins pull their pants up? How long we gonna keep letting them shoot us down with our hands up? How long we gonna keep killing our own and making these streets hot? How long will what I say to you stay with you when the beats stop? How long's your attention span? How long you watch the news? You ain't down to shake shit up with the rebels for the cause? I ain't talking to you.